Yo, I guess here we are. Year 4. Henry, I don't know what he's doing, but I know he's with friends. So he'll be on intermediately. So we're just going to start this off with me. For anybody who's joining us first time, if not, thank you for joining us. Little popping some Pellegrino to sip along. We have a lot to talk about. We'll be doing all 58 picks, and I'm excited. Comment down below what you guys expect to happen. Anything that you think might be surprising. As tonight, it's just going to be a drama-filled night to expect the least. As there's probably, I'm not going to say there's going to be blockbuster trades, but I expect there are going to be several trades that might not be as dramatic as people might initially think. But as time progresses, as we look back, Bruce Brown was a day 2 signing in free agency. Okay, there were moves around the league. Big move last year was the New York Knicks, Detroit Pistons when Nerlens Noel and Al Burks was traded. Now, probably deals maybe similar like that. You know, my Washington Wizards have been active. I know the Orlando Magic might be selling one of their guards. I'm very scared that Anthony Black might not get to the Wizards. Now, with that being said, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Who do you think is going to be the best player on, who's going to be the best player in this draft, not named Victor Wembanyama or Scoot Henderson? And let's maybe, what are your guys' thoughts on Brandon Miller? Let me take a sip of the Pellegrino. Ooh, that stuff is good. But yeah, so here we are. I think right now I'm just going to put Henry to the side and just go with this little bad boy. Booyah. All right, so it has been a while, Mr. 81, since am I going to be recording videos live? Yes, I will. I have. You did a great job just reminding me, big dog, of having my not StreamYard, but my screen recording, what I plan on doing, on how I plan on recording or doing videos is basically I'm going to have my OBS open and do it through. I already have the music playing. So right now, like if I did it correctly, I believe, I think I'd have to, I don't even know if I think I can get it done like this, but either way, I do want to hear your guys' thoughts if there was anybody that you think is going to be a bust. I think the riskiest guy to draft, I don't think the Thompson twins are going to be busts. I just think worst comes to worst, they're like role players, and there's nothing wrong with that. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. Worst comes to worst, they're role players, which is cool and all. But if you're trying to, have franchise changing talent, I don't know necessarily if that's because we're hearing that the Trailblazers were really impressed by Amen. And is that going to be the guy who changes your franchise? I don't know. But I understand taking, Amen over Brandon Miller, because I'm not huge on Brandon Miller either. Like Amen Thompson, my favorite comparison I've seen so far is that he's a more athletic, like a top 1% athlete version, a little, lankier, shorter Ben Simmons with more offensive prowess, which I really like that comparison. I've always liked that comparison. And that's where I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Who you think is maybe someone looking down? Why am I not rocking Kansas gear? Did I not? Yeah, I didn't wear any KU gear, TP. You guys know I just graduated for KU. We're in the graduate school hat now, but I actually didn't wear any KU stuff because I didn't think much of it. Grady Dick, obviously, I expect him to go in the lottery. Worst comes to worst, if Grady Dick does not go in the lottery, I had said this, Grady Dick's, because I've said his offensive game is going to be very similar to Kevin Huerter. I think he's going to be a better player than Kevin Huerter. He's just a guy that I think, unlike Kevin Huerter, he's bigger. He's like 6'8", and he's a good rebounder. He's literally a better defender. I'm not going to say he's an elite defender, but he's a way better defender than Kevin Huerter. He's basically a Kevin Huerter, like Kevin Huerter offensively, defensively, he's a rebounding, pretty, hold his own as a shooting guard. The Thompson twins remind you of Jeremy Lamb. I forgot who I compared. I had somebody in the pre-draft process that I compared to Jeremy Lamb. And I'm very keen to hear your guys' thoughts on who you guys think is. The Wizards need Anthony Black, XD Zenith. I'm telling you, we need my man, okay? Anthony Black. I want Anthony Black so bad. It's not even funny. So here we have the big board, guys. Hopefully I probably just gave you guys a little seizure with how I zoomed in on that. But this is a little big board. Shout out The Athletic for this. So right here, do I think Victor Wembanyama is overhyped? No, I think the hype is legit. I'm just not someone who rides his dick. Everybody knows who Victor Wembanyama is. And also, I love how Wembanyama right there is just spelled blatantly wrong. So let's just get this correct. That's embarrassing. Look at this, guys. This is blatantly bad. Look at it. We had a typo, and it's a PDF document, so I can't even change it. So I don't think Victor Wembanyama is overhyped. I think the thing with Victor Wembanyama is the media has just kind of rode his dick, like with the whole hype thing, and with the NBA buying the rights to air his games, really hyped him up. Again, he's been the most hyped guy. Even if you don't believe it, Zion Williamson is someone who's been like almost like the closest thing since LeBron, and Victor's surpassed that. So that's something that I think is like you got to look at. Like, I think Vic is the most hyped guy since LeBron, but he does live up to it. Do I worry about the injuries? No, unless like somebody blatantly Tanya Hardings him and just bashes his knees out. McSeason was good. Dude, everybody be sucking. Like I said, yeah, everybody like rides his dick. And Mr. 81, you're funny. But no, like I agree. Like everyone rides Victor Wembanyama, and I think he's a great prospect, generational talent. We all know who he is, okay? But I don't think he's overhyped. It's been a media circus with him, and it was to be expected. I agree. Kobe Buffkin, dude, when I was at the scouting combine, I remember walking by. So when you go to the scouting combine, you go into like this downstairs, like, so the game is played like on, how do you put it? Like the game itself is played like in the arena, but then you yourself go down the escalators because the players just walk out of the game, and it's like these kind of like cubicles they create with like curtains that you go and you interview the players at. And the thing is that when you go there, you end up like having to either like walk by like a bunch of like people, or like it's kind of like a convoluted space. And I remember when Kobe comes in, because they kind of cycle players in every 5-10 minutes, or when they're not talking to anybody, they just tell them you can go, and they bring in somebody else. And I remember when Kobe came in, I thought he was like 6'3", 6'4". When Kobe came in at the scouting combine, I was like, dang. And Henry over here, who will join us whenever he does join us, he literally agreed with me. We were both like, dude, this guy's a full 6, like 4, like looked like he was 6'5". And that's why I really do believe, Kobe Buffkin's a guy who could play the 1 or the 2. He's a big body. Mr. 81, I have been doing this for so long that I have like good computer equipment. My phone, I'm able to edit on my phone, dude. I can turn around videos in less than 5 minutes, man. I've just gotten really good at it. It's just, practice, effort, taking the time and doing it. Derek Lively, because he's like Willie Cauley-Stein, bro. He compared himself to Willie Cauley-Stein. No offense to him. He can be good. And guess who's joined us? StreamYard. Is that why you guys were acting shocked?
I wish Jackson was there. Yeah, that's why we were acting shocked.
Dude, so we got the chat going. We were talking. So first off, mute your TV.
Hey.
Jesus.
Yeah, give me just a second. I need.
Luke, you're gonna be our TV guy. You're gonna be the one who's keeping us up to date because I kind of forgot to have like the TV next to me because I'm like visiting my folks. You are gonna be you watching it live on cable, so you have the most direct access.
Yeah, I'm watching it on the smart TV.
Okay, so you have like
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll have my phone.
This is the first time I have watched the draft since 2017.
So
I have not watched the draft in 6 years. Not since he picked in the top 5.
TP says hello, your favorite.
What's up? The GOAT.
For everyone who doesn't know, Luke over here is my legal eagle. He's entering his second year of law school. He's a degenerate college basketball gambler. He likes NBA, but he's more of a college mid-major guy. This is why he gets into the draft because he knows.
I get into the draft because of Brandon Pajinski. That's why I get into the draft. Nobody knew who the fuck that was until the last 2 months. But you know who's been watching him all season? Me.
Dude, so when I met Pod at the scouting combine, I go up to interview him. Michael Scotto's to my left. And I go up and Henry's behind me. And I remember we walk in and I go, "What's up, Pod?" And I go, "Is it cool if I call you Pod?" He like kind of like cracks his eyes. Like, yeah. I was like, "Okay, Pod." Because I didn't want to attempt to say anything.
And then you're like, "Hey, Pod."
Yeah. Hey, Pod. What's up, Pod? He was really cool. But dude, when I asked him, I was like, what do you see yourself as?
He went to Illinois out of college, but he rode the bench as a freshman and then he transferred.
Did not know he was a transfer.
Yeah, he went to Illinois.
4 or 5 star.
I think he was a 4-star. High 3, low 4. Like Power 5 level player. 100%.
Like,
that's why he only played, because he only played 1 year at Santa Clara.
So when I met Pod at the combine, when I was talking to Pod,
dude, I
asked him.
Hold on, can I say this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Pod was the 72nd ranked recruit.
Did not know that.
He was the third recruit in the state of Wisconsin, behind Pat Baldwin Jr. and
I love
point guard Tyrese Hunter.
I love the fact that he is a Wisconsin kid, but I think
Pod was 107th according to the composite. Wow, did not know that.
Homeless in the car. My Magic would never trade the 6th and 11th for Zach LaVine. That would be us going backwards as a franchise. But what I will say is when I asked Pod this, I was like, what do you see yourself? Like, do you see yourself as being an off-ball guy? Do you see yourself being able to play the wing? Because he is like 6'5". He has the rebounding tendency. And he's like, he like very sternly said, I'm a point guard. Like, I'm a point guard.
Yeah.
And like, kudos to him. Like, if he can thrive as a point guard, I think him staying at point would cap his ceiling.
He wasn't really he was point guard for them at times, but like
he's a wing. Swingman. He's a swingman. He's an
guard
undersized swingman.
He wasn't
in
really
today's NBA.
He wasn't really a point guard for them.
Luke, what do you think of Buffkins?
But they were. Can I explain this? They were a weird scenario. So here's how their offense worked. They had like
your small Pod.
They had like 3 guys. Yeah, about Pod. They had like their point guard was a scoring point guard. I don't know where he transferred. Carlos Stewart. But he was a scoring point guard. So Pod, even though he didn't really play point, was like the lead facilitator. So like he led them in like everything.
Okay.
Oh, Carlos Stewart committed to LSU. Okay, that makes sense. That was some Power 5 school.
So here we go. Who do you think had the better suit? I'm pulling up Scoot Henderson's. Okay. Who do you think had the better suit? First one.
Amen had a crispy ass white suit. That was the first thing I saw when I turned on the TV.
So as we wait for the draft to start, first suit right here, Scoot Henderson looks like it's like bedazzled. I don't know if bedazzled is the right term for this, but it's like encrusted with what looks like gems. Okay. First off, this is a goofy ass photo. I think he looks. I love Scoot.
He looks goofy. I think it's just because the way that the grill is reflecting off of the light.
I also think this person's 5'4".
It makes his teeth are like the way that the grill reflected off the light just makes his teeth even more like obnoxiously shiny. So it's like it's not really his fault.
Okay, so have you seen Buffkin's suit?
No. Buffkin had one of the best suits at the combine, though. I will say that.
I will say he was one of the freshest dressers at the combine.
Buffkin was looking like me out there. He overdressed.
Okay, so this is Keontae George and Buffkin. I fuck with their fits. Okay, if I had to say so myself,
Oh,
dude, I think Keontae
Buffkin
George
is a
might have
Buffkin.
won the fit contest. This is
Yeah. Okay. So
also
here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll
Scoot,
say.
dude. Scoot is off an edible. Scoot
Scoot is
has to
off.
be off.
Scoot's off perk.
Shut up! Shut up!
So fucking Keontae George's suit is more.
Is my
crazy.
audio good? Real quick. Is my
Yeah,
audio
yeah,
good
it's
or
good.
am I too loud?
If I had to, you're good. No, you're fine. If I had to pick one to wear, I'd definitely pick Buffkin's. Kobe Buffkin's suit is so fresh, dude. And
nah,
the shoes,
dude. I think that's Keontae George with the leopard print.
That's why I said I'm not picking the leopard print, bro.
Oh, dude, I'll be the leopard print.
I just said I'm taking Kobe Buffkin's fit with the shoes.
Yeah, you be Tony Shalhoub and Pain and Gain in that.
Yeah,
game.
and you're the crazy guy. That would be us.
Yeah.
That'd be us.
Yeah, that'd be us, dude. We'd be like,
us.
we look like what's that Night at the Roxbury? That'd be our outfit.
Yeah.
This would be if you and I were dressed up in these outfits. I'd be in the leopard print. You'd be in the more formal, and we'd be like Night at the Roxbury.
Yeah, that's exactly that's us at the draft in like 5 years.
No, completely. Okay, who else has Who else did you think? Okay, so I wanted to go over here and talk about our big board. Thank you for editing that, my friend. I'll send.
I might have missed a few guys. I kind of just went through and done it, but I try to get every international / college withdraw guy. So like Bobby Clinton's not there.
So we have right here. I think somebody that's surprising is they put at 14 Derek Lively, but
this is a big board from the Athletic that like it was.
Yeah, but
this is from a long time ago. This is from a really long time ago.
I think he has it very similar. He actually has. I wanted to keep it this way because he has Amen Thompson 3, Cam Whitmore 4, and I believe Brandon Miller 5 now.
Yeah, see, so I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I just don't agree with. I'm
very high on Cam Whitmore. A, because he's young. B, the body.
2 days ago that said he's probably going to slide to 10. I don't know how true
But it's
that
all
is.
smoke screens. It's all
smoke screens. He's going to go like 7 through 10. He's going to go 6, 7, or 8, realistically.
No, I completely agree.
I'm not very high on him. I'm super low on him out of the top 10.
TP,
I think he's probably the guy that I'm the least.
If the Raps take Brees, that is a reach. If they take him at 13,
oh my God, yeah, that's a massive reach. He's been
Jalen Hood-Schifino is a guy who seems like he's been climbing up.
Before you moved away from Twitter, I saw Kobe Buffkin is the preferred, like Toronto's the preferred destination for him.
I bet you. I think Hassan Wallace is their backup option there. I think Leonard Miller, Keontae George, and Nick Smith are 3 guys that might be sliding later into the draft, if we had to say so.
Yeah, maybe Brees.
Brees is definitely in the 20s.
Yeah, he's definitely going to go. Everyone was saying to the Rockets at 20, but I don't know if that's going to happen now. It might be low.
Dude, where is Gigi Jackson going? I think he's a second-round pick.
Gigi Jackson is the wild card.
He's the guy. He's the Santi Aldama.
He's the guy who wouldn't surprise me if he went 21, but it wouldn't surprise me if he went 36.
I think Dariq Whitehead's a guy who go lottery. Somebody could be really high.
Dariq Whitehead is a guy who I don't think will go lottery. The CBS mock draft today had us taking Dariq Whitehead.
Dude, Rayan Rupert is getting less hype than Ousmane Dieng had last year.
Yeah, I know. I can't tell if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say Ousmane Dieng was bad last year, but I don't think he would have been a lot.
He wasn't good. I wouldn't call him good.
So,
I wouldn't call him good.
So, who do you think is going to be the first selection? Where are they right now in the pre-draft process? Right now, what are you seeing?
Oh, there's like 4 Spurs are on the clock.
Spurs are on the clock.
4.5 minutes left until they pick. I wonder who they go with here.
You wonder.
So the Spurs have a lot of options. They could go with, if they're looking for a big guy, I think they could take Derek Lively. If they're looking for a guard, they could maybe go like, I don't know, Keontae George and Nick Smith are available.
I think Nick Smith
board here.
Nick Smith should be the guy.
Yeah, Nick Smith's gonna be the guy. There's a lot of ways the Spurs could go here. You know, their team needs were listed as Victor Wembanyama and starting point guard. Since starting point guard is one of their needs, Keontae George.
So right now, Shams Charania, all the news we have right now, Pelicans received.
Oh, those guys are going to be ahead, by the way, of the TV because they're probably going to do the bullshit that they did last year and then the year before that and the year before that where they leaked the picks.
How you hate that? A lot of people hate that shit.
Yeah, because if I'm actually watching the draft, I don't care. That's why I don't watch the draft anymore, bro. I don't give a shit about. I mean, I also don't care because the Celtics never pick as a high pick. But still,
I want to see if. I mean, they're on the clock right now, and for us, I think the most interesting part will be either I don't know. You're really comfy back there, bud.
I know I'm late. I want to have fun watching this, man. I want to be comfortable. My team doesn't pick until the fucking 20s.
Your pit team does not pick. Okay, so Boston
We pick in the
Celtics-
20s. We didn't pick. We didn't pick earlier, like before that. So like, I can't complain. We have more picks now. I
Is
don't know who
Buffkin
the
a
fuck
light skin
we
or
picked.
is Buffkin mixed?
Buffkin's light skin?
Light skin? I didn't know if he.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was because
I don't think so. I don't think so.
you know because Paulo's mixed, right?
What, Bonquera?
Yeah,
Yeah, he is.
because he's like a
He's like
Italian.
Italian. He's Italian.
Yeah.
Bro. He's like
Yeah. Kind of like the. I'm trying to think of who else.
Who was it that we
plays.
saw? Evan Fournier, kind of like Evan Fournier.
Dude, that mind blew. I called it. I knew he
Evan
had
Fournier,
to be.
Evan Fournier being Algerian kind of blew your mind, huh? See, I didn't even.
It didn't blow. No, it didn't blow my mind. I just knew, like I said, like looking at Evan Fournier,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Evan Fournier is definitely like not just French, you know.
Yeah, it's like Benzema. Like he looks kind of like Benzema, except Benzema's like full blooded. Like,
But like he also, who was that Morocco player? He just looks like someone who would play for Morocco or something.
yeah, like like Benzema is like full blooded Algerian. He was just born in France.
Oh, okay.
Like both of Benzema's parents are Algerian.
Dude,
Same with
so
Zidane.
did you
Same
see
with
the
Zidane.
report though? The Spurs are trying to trade back into the lottery. There was a report
Again?
earlier.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
to get Koulibaly. Yeah,
Bilal Koulibaly. What are
yeah, I
your
saw that.
on that, and is it worth it? So Bilal Koulibaly, he
So-
really had a great end to the season, but he
Yes.
is, dude. Look at his synergy stats. He's terrible in the half-court offense.
Yeah, well, I don't exactly have those in front of me, so I can't say. But I mean, yeah, he really did have a hot streak at the end of the season. But here's the thing: like, do they have the assets to actually to trade back up? Like, who are they going to give up? What picks? Because like how many more picks do they have in this draft? They have their pick, and then they pick in the second round. I think they have 2 picks in the second round, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, I believe they have 2 picks in the second round, but they have a bunch of picks down the road. So specifically,
Yeah,
the
they
Spurs are
have-
attempting to acquire a second lottery pick with Bilal Koulibaly as.
What would they have to give up, though? That is the real question.
Depends. I think the Orlando Magic would be the team you're targeting. Say, hey, we'll take your 6th pick. We'll give you, who's some guys they'd be cool.
I think they'd
discarding.
say. I don't know if they would want because here's the
We'll
thing.
give you Blake Wesley, Malachi Branham, Zach Collins. and-
Trading to 6 is a lot. Trading
You think
to 11
so?
is more reasonable, but Koulibaly might not be on the board at 11.
That is a very true point.
Yeah.
And I think, like right here, we look right here, they're saying this was a report from Jake Fisher earlier today and saying that they were trying to target, they didn't say what team, but again, I'm saying it's either got to be the Pacers, I don't think the Pacers want to trade the lottery pick, so it's the Magic who have 2. It's either the 10th pick from the Mavericks if he ends up sliding, okay? The other pick I can think of, it's got to be Orlando, Dallas,
Dallas is a team that really could look to trade their pick.
Washington.
Dallas wouldn't take. Dallas would not take. Dallas wouldn't take fucking like any picks on the line. I don't think Dallas wants to win now, so Dallas would have to like be enticed by like a win.
Doug
now.
McDermott, Zach Collins, Devontae Graham, maybe. That's really it.
Yeah, because it's like
win
Keldon
now.
Johnson isn't going to get traded.
No, because the Spurs are trying to be good because these are great
Yeah,
spots.
the Spurs are trying to be good, but the Mavericks are also trying to be good. So I think the Mavericks would probably.
It's
say-
Orlando because you can offer Malachi Braun. It's either the
Yeah,
Magic
because
or the
Orlando's
Wizards.
not trying to be good. The Wizards are the
And-
prime. That's the prime team.
The
the
prime
Wizards
team because you call up the Wizards as Anthony Black gets taken by Orlando. If Orlando,
And you go like, hey guys, you guys don't need Anthony Black anymore. You guys have Jordan Poole.
Yeah, well, they'll say we'll offer you maybe like Branham, Wesley, maybe
I'll be
another
right back.
guy
Give
or
me a second.
two. No, you're good.
Actually,
You
hold
want
on.
Blake Wesley, Malachi Branham, and another guy or two, and a first-round pick.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I just
So,
made it
I
across
think-
the room. I just sniped it.
I feel proud for you. But do you think the Wizards would be if like let's say the Magic do or the
And the
Pacers
Spurs.
pick
Hold
Anthony-
on. Spurs pick is in. The San Antonio Spurs select. Oh no. Adam Silver. Who are they going to say? Oh no. Victor Wembanyama. Who could have ever seen that coming? Oh no. Anyway, keep going. Sorry.
I'm surprised that they haven't put anything out, like in terms of like what Shams didn't put a tweet out.
About what? About maybe he got like told that he wasn't allowed.
Yeah, there was no tweets by insiders.
Maybe Adam Silver said you guys aren't allowed to do that anymore.
There was no tweet by insiders.
No, Shams is just live on Twitter.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, yeah, Shams is doing a live show on Twitter right now instead.
Alrighty, let's talk about the future of the San Antonio Spurs with Victor Wembanyama. Let's give it. I predicted this about a year ago, saying when the pre-draft process of Victor Wembanyama was going to go anywhere, it was San Antonio. So Keldon Johnson, Victor Wembanyama, Jeremy Sohan, Devin Vassell.
It's an average team right now.
I think this team could make the playoffs.
No, they're gonna be like maybe the play-in and lose. First year, bro.
You think so?
Yeah, it's year one of Vic, man. Vic isn't gonna make this team that was one of the worst teams in the league all of a sudden become a playoff team. I'm sorry, like I think they might. If they're lucky, they'll be a play-in team. They're a year. Hey, how about this? How about this? For their championship core, they're a year away from being a year away.
Okay. So what do you think?
Sense.
No, it does. It does.
They'll have like 35. They'll have like 35 to 38 wins or something. Not bad.
I think this team with Keldon Johnson, he's a guy who's shown he can be a 20-point scorer. Devin Vassell's a legit all-star talent. You got Jeremy Sohan.
Okay, is he though?
Victor Wembanyama. You go get yourself a point guard. You go get yourself a point guard.
Vassell, but you just tried to slide in that Devin Vassell is like a perennial all-star talent, man. You just tried to slide that in there like we weren't going to notice.
You have a problem?
No, I just don't think he's an all-star talent.
You don't think Devin Vassell can be an all-star? He's one of the better.
No, he can. Yeah, he can be. He can be like maybe a once or twice all-star like Julius Randle.
Okay, I get that.
Which is not a bad thing at all. That's a great thing. That's an all-NBA player right there. But it's like I'm not saying.
I think he's a better defender. What he's ball handling, dude. This guy could be a guy who averages like 25 and 5 and like 1.5.
I think he's real. I think realistically, he's close to his ceiling in terms of what he can average offensively. He'll probably be like he's averaging what, like 18 last year or something like that.
Yeah.
Hold on. 18 and a half. Okay, yeah. He'll probably get to like 20, 21-ish. That's his ceiling. Like CJ McCollum. Like borderline all-star. Except he's better defensively than CJ McCollum.
Yeah, no, I mean, CJ McCollum was what, All-NBA one year?
CJ McCollum's never been an all-star team. He's never been an All-NBA player.
Really, dude?
I know.
I thought CJ McCollum.
I know. Doesn't that blow your mind?
Yeah.
Never
blows my mind.
Once. Doesn't that blow your mind?
Yeah.
Yeah, CJ McCollum has never made. He's one of the best players to never make an all-star game.
That's crazy.
That is insane. Yeah, CJ McCollum has never made a fucking all-star game. And usually in like basketball, everybody makes an all-star game. It's not like baseball where you have guys who like win the MVP and don't make the all-star game that year. Like that doesn't happen. So it's weird that he's never somehow made one.
Yeah, no.
He played in the playoffs consistently too. That's the thing. It'd be one thing if he sucked.
Who do you think then is going to be? Damn, dude, I'm like shocked.
Yeah. CJ McCollum. And his time to make an all-star game is done. So, like, he had his chance already.
So damn. I'm also surprised that they're not leaking the draft. The fact that the NBA got that under control, like, I mean, they're still
props to them.
Props to the NBA. And I think it's
okay. Woj has not tweeted. Woj hasn't actually tweeted since he retweeted the final mock draft from Jonathan Gavini.
That's what I'm saying. Shout out to the NBA for getting this under the control.
Yeah, Shams is just live on Twitter. Nobody is leaking picks.
Yeah, nobody's leaking picks, and right now we'll go over here.
Charlotte's pick is in.
All righty. Let's see who the Hornets have drafted.
Well, The pick is in. Adam Silver hasn't gone up there. I'll let you know when Adam Silver goes up there.
I'm on the Charlotte Hornets Twitter, seeing if they've pretzel out on their pick yet. Scoot Henderson, Brandon Miller. Who's going to be? Put your thoughts.
Please
in
be
the comments.
Scoot. Please be Scoot. It really
It's
should
got to be Scoot, ladies and gentlemen. It has to be Scoot.
It probably won't be, but it has to be. It should be.
I know.
Oh, they just cut to fucking what's his nuts from ESPN, Marty Smith, the fucking reporter. Yeah, he's there's a Spurs draft party and he's like celebrating at midcourt. Because he got a tattoo. He got a haircut of Wembanyama in his hair. Like this morning. Now I guess he's the resident Spurs guy. Yeah,
I did not know that.
Spurs fans are having fun. Didn't know that either. Spurs fans are all having fun though. There's the mascot too. Oh my god. Look at how happy they are for the draft, dude. Why are they watching? This is literally just because Wembanyama. That's the only reason why they had this thing. Nobody gives a fuck about having a draft party unless you're picking the greatest prospect since Anthony Davis.
I didn't even make a video for them drafting Vic because it's like a known thing.
There's literally not a point. There's the Wemby haircut. Yeah, there's the Wemby pick. That looks terrible.
Is it really that bad?
Look it up. Look up Marty Smith Wembanyama haircut. Just do it.
Marty Smith.
Damn, bro. What? What's up?
Marty Smith as in the actor?
No, the ESPN reporter.
Oh my god, I see it.
Yeah, it's terrible, dude. It's disgusting.
I didn't know this was a thing.
I feel terrible for Wembanyama though, man.
Have they came in with the pick yet? This is terrible.
No, they haven't. Yeah, it's disgusting. It's awful, dude.
That is awful.
Yeah, it's terrible. I feel so bad for Wemby.
Yeah, no.
He's got to live in San Antonio. That's awful.
What do you mean? Victor Wembanyama is going to love San Antonio. It's going to be incredibly fun. He's going to have a great time. He's going to thrive. It's going to be great for the guy. No, Tim Duncan.
Brandon Miller is the number 2 overall pick, and I just punted away $3. Woo!
No,
yeah. Great
no way.
Ball. Jesus Christ, they cost me money. Well, whatever.
Brandon Miller goes number 2 overall, ladies and gentlemen.
It was always Brandon Miller, wasn't it? It was always Brandon Miller. We should have known.
It was all a dream.
We should have known. The Hornets were scared of how Scoot plays next to LaMelo. Oh, man.
Damn, I thought it was all smoke screens that was going to happen. Did you? Which means...
Well, I don't know. I started to get a little scared that it was going to be Brandon Miller when I kept seeing all this shit from like the last few days.
No, I'm just going Scoot Henderson.
The Vegas odds were very erratic about, like, Brandon Miller was like heavily favored all day, so that kind of like made me realize that it might actually be Brandon Miller because Vegas was what they're talking about. It was like when Woj tweeted that Jabari Smith was going to go number 1 overall, and he said it was going to be Jabari, Chet, and Paolo, but the Vegas odds had it to be Paolo, Chet, and Jabari, and Vegas was right. So Vegas was right.
Damn, I'm just surprised that this is how it turned out. Like,
Vegas was right. I mean, he fits their team. He fits the team better, I guess. I think they.
When I just look at this personally, Brandon Miller, I understand. I've always lived off of the idea that you draft by team, not by team fit, but by best player available. And no offense to Brandon Miller.
Who's to say that they didn't do that though?
You're 100% right. I just believe that when a player who everyone goes, Scoot Henderson in any other draft would have been the number 1 pick, that's the guy you would take, the guy that they'd say if it wasn't for Victor Wembanyama, he'd be the undisputed number 1.
With that being said, Brandon Miller would also be the number 1 pick in most drafts.
No, and let's move on from that. Brandon Miller, how does he fit with this team? They're hopeful that Miles Bridges and both PJ Washington return. We know Kelly Oubre is on his way out. They have LaMelo Ball. It's the starting lineup now. LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, PJ Washington, Brandon Miller,
what they like is obviously Brandon Miller's like elite 3-point shooting. It brings a lot. He got used to playing off the ball at Alabama and in a loaded offense that shared a lot of touches, and he showed well that he could do that. You know, good defender with a lot of upside because of his frame. Obviously, there's that. And, he's actually really good for a guy who, you would expect to be really good in transition but struggle in the half court like Koulibaly. He doesn't really have that problem. So I like Brandon Miller a lot. I always thought that he was the best freshman in college basketball from the very beginning of the year. But with that being said, I don't know how they pass on Scoot here, man. I just don't know.
I like the construction of the roster.
Would be unguardable.
I like the construction of the roster. You got LaMelo, Terry Rozier as your guards. You have your wings, Miles Bridges, Gordon Hayward, Brandon Miller, and PJ Washington. You got your center.
Who's gonna leave?
And then you got Mark. Let me finish. Mark Williams as the center. Then you still have Nick Richards as your other center. You kind of right there have 8 guys. Kelly Oubre is on his way out. You bring back Dennis Smith. You have a 9-man rotation right there. I actually kind of like the Charlotte Hornets.
PJ's gone.
I think PJ stays, and they have his bird rights.
This pick means that PJ's getting traded, I think. Somebody's getting traded. I don't know.
It'd have to be a sign and trade because he's a free agent.
He's gone. Somebody is gone in their wing rotation. I don't know who, because I don't know who wants Gordon Hayward.
Gordon Hayward's an expiring contract, so he could be a guy this is the last year of his deal, I believe.
Oh, so this coming year is the last year of his deal? That's what I thought. That's right, correct?
Yeah, he's expiring.
They can trade him then. Yeah. Okay, yeah, they're going to trade him.
He'd be traded once free agency has kind of
Once it's already been established and teams already have their needs, Charlotte is going to create space for Brandon Miller in the rotation. One of those guys, PJ Washington or Gordon Hayward, is leaving. Maybe
I think Gordon. You probably will fit. The dust will clear on free agency, and we'll see a guy or a team become available, and Gordon Hayward will be like this contract as a third team where people will try to use it as like a salary filler in some sort of way. I could see that, and
like a contending team might have to take on his contract to get.
Worst comes to worst, he could be a buyout candidate.
And if he's a buyout candidate, then he'll just have a bunch of contending teams chomping at the bit to get him as a minimum deal.
But with that rotation, we take out Gordon Hayward. That's still a 7-man rotation. Bring back PJ Washington, Miles
Blazers
Bridges, Melo. I think that can make a playoffs. Now the Blazers.
No, they're not making the playoffs this year. Come on.
You don't think so?
No. Come on. They're just like the Spurs. They're a year away from being a year away.
Damn.
Let's just say there's a reason why these teams were picking in the top 3 in the draft. And that there's a reason why they were.
LaMelo was hurt all year.
Yeah, exactly. But there's a reason why they were picking in the top 3 of the draft, because their best player went down and they literally couldn't have anybody to replace him. They were the worst team in fucking basketball all year. Well, they're the Pistons. Pistons just got screwed by the lottery. The Portland Trailblazers select Scoot Henderson from
the official
program. Yeah, it is. So Scoot is a Blazer. Scoot is so nobody knows what the fuck this means for Dame.
No, we don't. Which is crazy, but like supposedly they've been in contact regularly, Scoot and Dame. And the thing is, Dame could be stoked to play next. He isn't stoked to play next to young guys. They've said it. So, I mean, that's definitely going to be interesting how it all plays out because, I mean, for me, I'm excited to see Scoot Henderson there, but does this mean they're about to get pounded on the phone by a bunch of calls from other teams saying, hey, you trading Dame, here's our Dame offer?
That's exactly what
is that about?
Hey, can we have Dame? Hey, you guys want to give up Dame? Yeah, that's what it's going to be.
Which I'd be surprised. Like, I'm not like surprised, but I'm very curious to see. But let's just talk about on the whole, what do you think with the drafting of Scoot Henderson? I mean, unless somebody calls up right now by the name of the New Orleans Pelicans and offer them Zion Williamson, or the Toronto Raptors offer Pascal Siakam, or even any of those offers good enough? Like, is the market out there good enough to give you, a couple guys, something to build around Dame and get a title contender going there? Or is that ship has sailed? Or are we just going to rebuild? Is it Trade Dame season. Is it trade Dame season?
I think it's trade Dame season now, man. I think trade.
Let's
like
talk.
I said on the show, it was trade Dame season last year.
Two things.
I think it's trade Dame season, man.
How would this team look if they kept Dame? Dame, Shaden, Scoot, Joseph Nurkic, Jeremy Grant, or is it you blow it up?
You build around you build around Scoot and Shaden Sharp, I guess.
And Anthony Simons?
No, you got to get rid of Anthony Simons.
You don't think Anthony Simons, even if they traded away Dame, you can't keep that?
I guess if they traded away Dame, you can keep it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I still think they could get some good value for him that would really help them in the future more so than just himself would. But you never know. You never know.
What do you think? Is there a way you think that this team could be a title contender with Scoot Henderson and Dame being on the same team, or do you think that's just not feasible?
They need to add another player. And the only way for them to add a player that would push them to being a title contender would have meant trading this pick, which they couldn't do, obviously, which is why they settled for taking Scoot. So, unfortunately, I just don't think there's any way this team can win. There's no way this team becomes a contender.
And you really don't think there's a pathway? I know there isn't a players available. We've talked about this before, that there isn't many players available out there. Everybody's holding their guys because the league is wide open. So you don't think the only thing the Blazers can do is just build around Simons, Sharp, and Scoot? Or do you think just get rid of Simons right there?
They could try to build around Simons, Sharp, and Scoot, or they could just blow one up and trade Simons and Dame and get value and build around Sharp and Scoot and then tank and then get another top draft pick next year. It all depends. It all depends on what they want to. It all depends on what they want to do.
They have said that if they trade Dame, they're going to do right by him, is what we've heard.
They're going to do right by Dame. It's because who's like the top guys for next year besides what's his name? Oh, there's I guess Buzelis from the G League Ignite's pretty good.
Who? Buzelis. He's next year's.
Yeah, that's why I said I'm talking about next year because I'm talking about the Blazers tanking. So who would they tank for? Next year's draft is like it seems kind of weak.
Are you on? Do you really think it's that weak?
Oh, it seems really weak, not just kind of weak, dude.
I think it's just going to be definitely interesting to see how it all
so they got Thierry Darlon from the G League Ignite, and then what's this dude? Zachary Risashev.
I just think they can still build around Dame. It's just going to be a little harder than we thought.
They're not going to be able, not with it. They need to add somebody else, and trading Simons would be the best way to do that, to adding another star. But they should have been in the market for Porzingis.
I mean, do you think Porzingis would have been worthy of the 3rd overall pick at this point in his career?
No, they wouldn't have given the 3rd overall pick. They were going to keep the 3rd overall pick, bro. They still have picks in the 20s, which that's what it took to get Porzingis in a 3-team trade.
That is very true.
Yes, they should have. They would have had. They could have kept Scoot. They should have been in the market for Porzingis. Why were they not?
I mean, at the same time, like, I just does kind of feel like sometimes that this team kind of like went haphazardly in terms. And we've heard with the 4th pick that Amen Thompson will be selected by the Houston Rockets.
And now that's a leech pick. God damn it. That's a leech pick because they're still on the clock. Who tweeted that? Who leaked the pick?
Chris Haynes.
Oh, damn it, bro. With the first 3 picks weren't leaked. Damn it, Chris Haynes. Now Adam Silver's going to be pissed.
No, they were. No, what's it called? They were leaked. I realized my phone was on Do Not Disturb. So we have Amen Thompson going next overall. So what are your thoughts right here, Luke, with Amen Thompson going 4th overall?
I mean, this is what we all thought.
He was compared to Ben Simmons.
They're not going to
Let me say this. Let me say this, buddy. Ben Simmons comparison, more explosive, has more of an offensive prowess, like about 1% athleticism. They're saying this guy can be like literally Ben Simmons on the defensive side, Ben Simmons with the playmaking, but way better in terms of scoring. Do you buy that? I think that's the best comparison I've seen.
Yeah, that's probably the best comparison.
Which it's crazy to think about that this is a guy we've seen, I think really, first off, he took a jump in the G League. People, whether they like to admit it or not, he took a huge jump not the G League, my apology, the Overtime Elite League. He went from the guy who was, I believe, scoring like 40 something from the field to over 50%. He went up to being a guy who was not only showed his first year grabbing rebounds, but this year being this facilitator. His 3-point percentage even went up too. Like, he wasn't terrible, like he improved. And if you buy into that, you got a guy who's going to be one of the freakiest players in transition, guard 1 through 4. Okay, worst comes to worst, he's not a point guard, he's a wing. That's worst comes to worst.
That's fine. You live with that, bro. You will live with that. If he can do all the shit that he does as a wing, even if he doesn't pan out as a point guard, he's still a better facilitator than 99% of wings in the NBA, pretty much. If he reaches the ceiling.
Yeah, and I completely agree.
With the exception of like LeBron James.
Yeah, and I think this is a guy, Amen Thompson. He fits perfectly next to Jalen Green. He fits really well, with whatever they do with KPJ. Alperen Şengün can do like dribble handoffs with him and ball screens. They can run it with Jabari Smith. I think that all is going to work very well for them. And I'm very excited for the Houston Rockets and what they have going there. And Ime Udoka is going to love this guy. He's going to play defense. They're going to enjoy the hell out of it. And it's going to be great basketball in my mind. But what do you think with that? I think you're muted, buddy.
Ime pick, right?
This is Ime. Ime Udoka came in here. He's like, I want a defensive.
I unplugged my headphones so I could hear you when I walked to the fridge.
No, you're good. Yeah. You want Ime Udoka. Ime wanted a defensive dog, and he wanted somebody to come in, set the tone, play defense, and this is what they're getting right here. And it's a good pickup, and I'm proud for the Rockets. I think they're having a direction. James Harden is not coming to Houston. This is what this means.
Amen Thompson led all players with 9 assists in the Overtime Elite playoffs.
Who watched that?
I didn't.
I didn't either.
I didn't watch a single minute of Overtime Elite.
I've never seen an Overtime Elite besides.
I've
watched highlight. No, like that's a lie. I watched film of players like Don Barlow and like. But like I've never sat down.
The only Overtime Elite that I've watched is like highlight tape of the Thompson twins.
Yeah, and I just
I don't care to watch it.
A lot of NBA players invested in it. A few, like I think Harden, Trae Young.
I mean, like it's good. The Thompson twins having success in the NBA will be what brings it legitimacy or not.
You're right.
If the Thompson twins suck and they just look completely out of their depth and cannot play at the NBA level, Overtime Elite is not going to exist within 3 or 4 years.
You really think?
If the Thompson twins suck and let's say they're in 3 years or in 5 years when we've had enough time to judge the Thompson twins and we realize that they're not that good, if there isn't elite prospects from the Overtime Elite program in the next 6 or 7, 5 or 6 years, and the Thompson twins don't pan out, it's going to get shut down.
Hey, Frank Gomez, thanks for the love. Appreciate it. Love everyone there. Thanks for the support. And, dude, I would love for the Blazers to figure out a pathway to keep Scoot and, Dame there, but I don't know. I agree Hornets passing on Scoot was a mistake. Put the money on the Spurs to at least be a play-in team. And I think that the Thompson twins is going to be interesting with how they go. And we just I don't know. What are your thoughts with it, Luke? Do you think this is the right way to go about it in terms of
for the Rockets?
No, for the Blazers. Going back to what they chose.
Going back to being average?
I guess that's
bro.
Is that how you're gonna phrase it?
With this team right now in place.
You think you can win?
Not with
can
this
you
team
win?
Right now. No, not with this team right now.
Excluding the Spurs, who so
you know
far?
Do you know how they could win the Blazers? If Scoot by year 3 is like Ja Morant or Russell Westbrook, then they
or Derrick Rose.
Or Derrick Rose. That's how they win. It's about Scoot. Can Scoot be like those guys in year 2 and year 3? Because they don't have time for Scoot to wait till year 5 to start breaking out and becoming an All-NBA player. They need it now.
No, you're right there. And I think
they were the weirdest team out of the top 3 picks because all of those teams are shit. But the Blazers had the best path to being good because they still have Dame. So, and if Shaedon Sharpe can take a jump, the Blazers are basically just waiting they're at the phase in your 2K My League where you already have all the guys. You just need their ratings to increase. That's basically where they're at. Like,
That's such
I'm
a
not
funny
gonna
way
say
to
they-
put it.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna say that they can't win with this core. They just can't win now. Not this next year. Because unless he
And-
decides to play like Blake Griffin as a rookie and balls out.
I mean, he wasn't a rookie though. He was a second-year guy.
Okay, Shaq then, fine, whatever. He was
Yeah,
technically-
Shaq. Because then they go to the finals.
Shaq waited like 2 or 3 years to go to the finals.
Yeah, he didn't wait.
But Shaq was a true rookie. Okay, all right, whatever. The point still stands. Like those two guys are the only rookies to make the All-Star team. So
No, I got you. And I think it's going to be interesting when we see whoever ends up being the best.
I
player in
hope
the
Dame
draft.
and Scoot play together though.
That'd be so sick.
I
Dame and
hope
Scoot
we-
playing. Dame could play
I
off ball.
Scoot and Dame play together because I want like Dame's prime. Dame still has like 4 or 5 more years left at a high level, at a really high level.
You believe that long?
Yeah, he's like 31, right?
So he's like 32.
Yeah, 32. Yeah, he's just still going to play at a high level for the next like 4 or 5 years.
I mean, we're betting on it. But I want to know who's the guy that you think is going to be out of the first 4 picks so far. Who do you think is going to be the best guy? And Asar Thompson has gone.
Who do I think is going to be the best guy? Can we just say who do I think is going to be the best guy besides Wemby?
Yeah.
It's going to be probably Scoot, dude. It's probably going to be Scoot. Besides Wemby, of course, it's going to be Scoot. Because, like, Wemby's Wemby. Like, we all know it's Wemby. Like,
So what do you think of the Pistons taking Asar Thompson at
oh,
5?
damn it.
They
They're
needed
leaking
wing.
again. The
So what do you think?
The
have
Pistons
taken
are on
Asar?
the Pistons pick is in right now.
And they've taken Asar Thompson.
Yeah, that's why I asked. I said they're leaking picks again.
What are your thoughts right there? They got Kate Cunningham. They had Jaden Ivey. They have the logjam of
All right,
Beast.
I might just
Marvin
turn the
Bagley.
down. They're leaking picks.
Jalen Duren.
I might just.
What
turn
are your
the
thoughts?
picks. Oh, Asar's a great pick right now for this spot.
What do you think?
He's a better wing prospect. He's a better wing. I like him better as a wing prospect than Cam. So.
And why do you think they chose Asar over Cam Whitmore?
Okay. So why do I think? Honestly, I don't know. I really don't know. God, I feel like Cam fits the team better right now. I think they're just drafting Asar based on.
Is Asar more of a win now player than Cam?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
But I think what he'll bring is.
I think they just wanted ceiling. I think they just went for ceiling because they.
But this
wanted,
team's a very transition team, very athletic, and I think
yeah.
they're both super
Asar helps them, and in that regard, much better than Cam Whitmore does.
pushing the pace and
As
ball
great
movement.
as Asar is, like Asar's upside is probably why they went with him instead, just because they're a team that
Who do you think
is
had a
not-
higher ceiling, Asar or Cam?
Asar.
Really? I thought Cam. in
No,
terms of-
because Asar's shot creation, I feel like it shows a lot more promise with me. His ability to get shots on his own has a lot more promise than Cam. Now, maybe that's just because we never really had to see Cam do that at Nova, but I don't know.
Well, yeah, I think he was kind of handicapped in Nova, but I think Asar Thompson.
He's like Jarris Walker. He's like Jarris Walker. They were handicapped by a slow like prodding college offense.
But I still think
Like Jay Wright's scheme is good for.
Jay
lower-
Wright's not there anymore.
I know, but it's the same scheme, dude. The new guy was an assistant for Jay Wright for 10 years, went to go coach at Fordham for 1 season, and then got the head coaching job at Nova. It's Jay Wright's scheme. Same scheme.
All right, let's
So
not talk
I
about
don't
Cam.
care-
No, I don't care about Cam Whitmore. Let's talk about Asar. So
Okay,
Asar,
well, I'll save that for the Cam talk next because he's going to go.
Yes.
second.
So with Asar.
And defense.
Defense, that's what I'm thinking. And Monty Williams has that 1.5 second offense where they're moving the ball consistently. And I think Asar fits with Jaden Ivey. He's not going to take the ball away from Jaden Ivey or Cade Cunningham. He's not going to take it away from Bagley or
Yes.
Jalen Duren. You know, I think he's going to be a guy who he's going to be a selfless player. That's the right way to say it, right?
Yeah, selfless, not selfish. Yes. He's a selfless player. He was what is he? They said he was the MVP of the Overtime Elite League for the 2 straight years. I don't really know what that doesn't really mean shit, but that's not why he's a good pick. He's a good pick. Oh, Magic picks in, by the way. He's a good pick because he fits they both fit this.
No way.
Cam.
But finish just finish.
I don't know. I just think I'm surprised they didn't go Cam Whitmore here. I
I'm-
like Asar better, but I'm surprised they didn't go Cam Whitmore here. I just think the upside is why they did it. At the end of the day, like he fits them well. Fast paced wing. They're not trying to win next year or the year after that. Well, maybe the year after that, but they're not trying to win next year.
So if you look at the ticketer, like my favorite player in this draft, who I think has the highest guy to be like the Josh Giddey, Tyrese Halliburton of this draft class, just went 6 overall to my Orlando Magic. I'm so happy, but I wanted him to go.
No shit, huh?
By the name of Anthony Black.
Our boy.
This means Cole Anthony or Jalen Suggs will be traded.
Yes, that's exactly
What do you think of the fit for Anthony Black in Orlando? It means one of our guards is going to be traded. Markelle Fultz is supposedly staying. I like that. I love Markelle. But what do you think of the fact that we are
Wow. Anthony Black, huh?
Yep.
Wow. Okay, well, that's the surprise of the draft because I thought for sure he was a Wizards pick.
I thought the Wizards were getting Anthony Black, and maybe the Spurs are calling up like we were talking in the pre-draft process.
I think the Wizards wanted to, but unfortunately, not on the board.
So, what do you think of I love Anthony Black next to Markelle Fultz, next to Gary Harris. Just kidding. Franz Wagner, Paulo Banchero, Wendell Carter Jr., and the boys. What do you think of that fit?
Anthony Black is great. Anthony Black is great. I love Anthony Black.
Do you agree with this? The Tyrese Halliburton and / the Josh Giddey of this draft.
Besides Brandon Miller, he was my favorite freshman in college basketball last year.
And he's the best perimeter defender in the draft, the point of attack defender at the guard position.
Is he the best? Yeah, he's probably the best right now. Well,
long term and right now, put Cason Wallace in 10 years versus Anthony Black in 10 years if everything pans out for both of them.
Yeah, I mean, Cason Wallace is probably the best.
Cason might be better as like Cason's kind of like a Davion. Cason's like a Davion Mitchell, but they're limited on.
Yeah, because they're limited on who they can guard.
Yes, while Anthony Black can guard.
Versatility, Anthony Black.
Anthony Black has Anthony Black. His floor for his rookie season, bro. His floor for his rookie season is going to be what Dyson Daniels did this past season for the New Orleans Pelicans. That's his floor.
Better. His floor is. You know what his floor is? His floor is rookie year Michael Carter Williams. That's his floor.
That'd be insane.
That's
his floor. That's insane. That means rookie of the year, baby. I'm just kidding.
Well, no. Because if look at who else he was competing with for rookie of the year. Now it wasn't exactly a hard, but like he's gonna have that type. If he can have that type of year, that'll be a success.
Yeah, but good job for the Thompson twins going back to back. But I think Anthony Black going here, this is the Magic doubling down on their super size. They love the super size, okay? And they're going to continue to do it. And I think it's working so far, and we want it. And yes, someone's going to have to get traded, which makes sense.
Call Anthony because he doesn't.
Yes.
There's no defensive value there.
Yeah, and Chuma Okeke is probably going to go too.
When it comes to picking a guy, yeah, Cole Anthony's better on offense than Jalen Suggs, but Jalen Suggs can be as good, if not better, on offense than Cole Anthony is. Cole Anthony will never be as good on defense as Jalen Suggs. So I think you got to trade one. You got to go with the guy who just won't be good on defense ever.
Yeah, and as an Orlando Magic fan myself, I'm happy we're getting Anthony Black. We're getting more defense here. Hopefully the shot comes around. But the thought of an Anthony Black, Markelle Fultz, Jalen Suggs, or Cole Anthony, probably Jalen Suggs stays, and then Gary Harris is somebody we want to keep around. Franz Wagner. We got Paulo Banchero. We got Wendell Carter Jr. Supposedly Bull's going to stay in town. I'm liking that. Do you like that, Luke?
What, Bull staying for the Magic?
We have a shocking pick at 7 to wrap up this video. So can you take a guess who just went at 7, Luke?
Cam Whitmore, Taylor Hendricks?
No, he was the shock of the draft that he was supposed to be.
Cason Wallace? Jarris Walker?
We were not expecting. Yep, it's this guy by the name of Bilal Coulibaly.
He went at 7.
Yep, he went at 7.
Way.
Yep,
Wow.
he just went at 7. Bilal Coulibaly just got drafted 7th overall. What are your thoughts right there, Luke? Initial reaction when you hear Bilal Coulibaly going?
I'm shocked. I am shocked, man. Team
I think
needs.
he's-
Bobby Marks' team needs front court depth and 3-point shooting. Man, it's almost like Taylor Hendricks fills both of those needs and was available on the board. That's who I don't get that.
Is that your initial thoughts? You just don't get that?
Yeah, my initial thought is Taylor Hendricks would have been great here. He fell into their lap.
Yeah, and I mean, right here, I think it's interesting to see how it all.
This
plays
is a
out.
pure upside pick. That's the only thought behind this.
You think? I mean,
Because
the fear with Bilal Coulibaly, he fits perfectly. Let me tell you this: with the starting lineup, the lineup right here, whatever, not starting lineup, but whatever the rotation will be with the guys that they have in place. Tyrese Haliburton, Andrew Nembhard, Benedict Mathurin, Chris Duarte. Now you throw in Bilal Coulibaly. You have, Miles Turner. You have Buddy Hield. You have whatever happens with Jalen Smith.
How many of those guys
Yeah.
are front court guys? You said one, Miles Turner. They needed front court depth. Taylor Hendricks was right there on the board, ready to fall into their laps at 7, and they didn't take him.
You think that's dumb on their part?
Yeah, I think it's fucking stupid. I like Bilal Coulibaly. You guys, that was the guy. That was the best fit and the best player available for you. Well, in
agree.
my opinion, some would
No,
say a bit more, but I think Taylor Hendricks is the best player available right now, and he was the best fit for this team.
I agree because
Double, it was
his
two.
his ceiling is being Jonathan Isaac, what we thought he could be, and his floor was Chris Boucher.
Yes.
You think that's a good comparison?
What we thought Jonathan Isaac would be.
Is his ceiling and his floor, if he's more of a big, he's Chris Boucher, 3D.
Yeah. Wow. I'm stunned. I'm stunned that they didn't take him.
No, so
All right.
am I.
So, or are we doing this for the lottery, like all the lottery, or are we doing it for like the whole first round? What are we doing this for?
The whole draft.
Whole draft? Okay. I was like, I didn't know how long we were doing this.
Yeah,
I
I
might
knew
did
the whole draft. That's fine. But no, I think right here where you look at how this fits, what's your I'm surprised that everyone got really onto the Bilal Coulibaly train.
Yeah, we were on that train before everybody else started sucking its dick during the French playoffs.
You didn't believe me.
No, I didn't believe you at first, and then I believed you after watching tape about it in the car. And then the French playoffs happened, and everybody started hopping on his dick. And then I was like, okay, let's pump the brakes, guys. He's a good player. He's a good player, but there are 10 players in this draft that are better than him. I thought the Pacers did not think so. So
Wait, so I forgot to tell you, he just got traded to the Wizards.
Bilal Coulibaly got traded to the Wizards?
Yeah, they just traded
Oh,
Bilal
so that
Coulibaly.
means the Pacers could still get Taylor Hendricks. Let's go.
Yeah, so
Wow.
Bilal Coulibaly, they flip picks, and Indiana selects Jarris Walker. So,
Indiana selects Jarris Walker.
yeah, so Jarris Walker.
That's the front court guy they went with. That's also fine. That's acceptable. That's fine. That's acceptable. It's Jarris Walker. Good pick.
So right here, we'll talk about Bilal Coulibaly in DC. What do you think of that? I like this pick. We were caught in the crossfire thinking that it was, he was going over to Indiana, but then it turns out he was going to the Wizards as they flip picks, and the Pacers take themselves Jarris Walker, which is a good fit. But let's talk about my Wizards taking Bilal Coulibaly, which I personally really like that. I thought that was a good pickup for us, and it makes sense.
Oh, yeah. For the Wizards, that's good. That's good.
And he, right now, with our core, Jordan Poole being like, I've said this, Jordan Poole's like Eric Gordon in the first Chris Paul trade. He's going to be a guy that we hope to keep around for 5 years, and down the road we trade him, or he maybe becomes like an all-star or something along those lines for us and becomes really vital to our organization. And Bilal Coulibaly will complement him in transition and be a guy that we can use in the fast break, and he'll push the pace for us, which will be really nice. And I think it'll be something that our team will really, really like, especially if we keep Corey Kispert and Denny Avdia, because I can already see Jordan Poole, Corey Kispert, Bilal Coulibaly, and Daniel Gafford as our starting lineup. And I'm not complaining right there. I'm not saying we're a playoff team, but we wouldn't be the most miserable-looking basketball team on the court. And I think it's something Wes Unseld Jr. can operate with. And again,
so Jarris Walker for the Pacers.
Let's talk about that in a second, but let me hear your thoughts. What's Bilal Coulibaly? Do you think this is a risky pick by my Wizards, or do you think it's a good flip because we're obviously going to probably get some compensation for this? in
I
terms
think it's a great pick because, like,
of not compensation. We didn't probably give up too much.
I think it's a great pick because, like, I do not have a problem with like the Wizards and getting Koulibaly with who else is on the board. You know, I had a problem with the Pacers passing up on the 2 front court guys to get him because it didn't make sense for their team. This is fine. This makes sense for the Wizards.
Yeah, they missed out, and we missed out right here on our guy Anthony Black. So we go out and we get ourselves a guy that we think could be a good substitute. So I think right there, it ends up being, a win-win situation where we don't have to worry too much about like, oh, we missed out on a high potential guy, where in this case, hey, we actually got ourselves a guy that might have just as good.
Might be better than Anthony Black.
Yeah, he has high potential. So I'm not really mad at this move. And we probably had to move up from 8 to 7 because there was other teams probably offering the Pacers, offers, and we had to act.
Spurs.
So that's good. And let's move.
The Spurs could have been one of those teams, man.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next team, and that is Jarace Walker being drafted by the Indiana Pacers. What are your thoughts right there initially?
Hey, remember when I said for all the same reasons why I said Taylor Hendricks was such a good fit for them?
Yeah.
Copy paste.
Yeah, so Jarace Walker is like Paul
Same
Millsap.
shit, except he's a slightly worse 3-point shooter and a slightly better rebounder.
Do you agree with me that he's literally Paul Millsap?
Yeah. Yeah. Slightly better rebounder than Taylor Hendricks. Slightly worse shooter. Still a great fit either way. I mean.
Yeah, what are you doing right now off screen, buddy?
No, don't worry about it.
Playing with your dick? But no, I think right.
I had to clean out the table.
So Indiana Pacers get themselves a NBA ready body and a guy who can play.
Keep talking.
Yeah, so he's a small ball. He can play small ball 5. He's more of a 4. Again, he's like a Paul Millsap type guy. He's a guy that if you wanted to play huge, you can even run him at the 3, but it'd be kind of awkward. But with the idea that your future is going to be, Tyrese Haliburton, Benedict Mathurin. We don't know about Chris Duarte, but the wing's still a question mark. But you get yourself your power forward. You have front court because Miles Turner is only like 27. So you have Miles Turner and Jarace Walker for the foreseeable future, unless you move on from Miles Turner. I think right there where you look at Jarace Walker, he actually really fits with this team, and it makes sense. And I think it's a good deal for everybody in parties. Indiana's probably going to get some draft compensation for this. Nothing crazy because they only moved up 1 spot, moved back 1 spot. But again, I think they go here with a guy that either if they want to fully commit to the Tyrese and move on from Buddy Hield, because they could really run Benedict Mathurin, Buddy Hield, Tyrese, Jarace, Miles Turner. But if they want to move on from Hield and Turner, they can commit to building around Walker, Mathurin, and Haliburton, and I see that being really good. So any thoughts, Luke, before we talk about predicting who's going to get drafted next?
No, I mean, like you pretty much said it. Like for the same reasons why, like I was saying that I love the Taylor Hendricks fit. I love this fit. He's a slut. Like I said, like they needed front court depth, and this was a guy who's, he's high upside. Like he's not going to play the 3 ever because he's kind of too big and slow for that. But he fits well with this team, playing as a 4, playing as a very versatile 4.
No, I completely agree. And it fits with the team's culture, and it's smart. And I think he's going to be a guy that Rick Carlisle really likes.
Yeah, Rick Carlisle's going to love him.
Rick Carlisle's going to love this guy. He's going to be a huge, huge boost to this team. And
This might be more of a Rick Carlisle fit than Taylor Hendricks, I think.
Probably. That's probably what ended up happening.
Yeah, I cannot blame them for this. If they didn't take one of the 2 front court guys, then I would have been like, all right, what the fuck are the Pacers doing?
So, can you guys who just went to Utah?
Who just went to Utah at 9?
Yeah, Utah pick just came in.
Was the Cam Whitmore slide true?
Seems like it because we're already at pick 10 and Cam Whitmore has not been selected because Taylor Hendricks just went to Utah. They just he's either, if everything works out, he's going to be like Jonathan Isaac, what we thought he was before his knees gave up, when God gave up on his knees,
Rashard Lewis.
Worst comes to worst, if he's more of a big, not a wing, he's Chris Boucher. Worst comes to worst, but his ceiling is Jonathan.
He's Rashard Lewis.
Yeah, I don't know if he. You
Taylor
think so?
Taylor Hendricks was like almost a 40% 3-point shooter, man.
I do. I buy into the Central Florida man. And what do you? So tell me, why do you think? Why do you think Taylor Hendricks is Rashard Lewis, and how does he fit next to Walker Kessler and Lowry?
A 6'10" shooter with long arms.
Explain it. Explain, like.
I don't need to explain it, bro. I just explained it. The kid's a bucket.
The kid is a bucket, and why do you think his draft stock flew up this past year?
Well, I don't think his draft stock, because he showed all of the tools necessary to be a big. He's a freshman. He was a one-and-done player. He fucking averaged like 17, 8 on like almost 40% three-point shooting and almost 50% from the floor. Like, come on. On a terrible team, no less, too. On a bad UCF team.
Yeah, unlike Gigi Jackson, he's one of those guys who's able to play on a bad basketball team.
He's still Gigi was supposed to be Gigi was supposed to be here. This was supposed to be Gigi, top 10 pick. Gigi put up empty stats, but inefficient empty stats on a bad team. Taylor Hendricks almost dragged UCF single-handedly to the NCAA tournament.
So when you look at him, my thing is again, I want to know. I like his face-up game. He can score from all three levels. He has some shot creation. My one thing is, will he have the lateral quickness to be able to guard the perimeter and be an inside-out defender as well as an inside-out offensive player that will allow him to be, like you said, like a Jonathan Isaac, Rashard Lewis type player, or is he going to be more of a Chris Boucher guy? Worst comes to worst.
I think he's more of the Rashard.
You think so?
I think he's more Rashard Lewis.
They called last year Jabari Smith Rashard Lewis.
Yeah, but that's a bad comparison. This is a more accurate comparison. And there's a reason why nobody called him Rashard Lewis, because all those draft comparisons that the mainstream media makes are fucking wrong. There's a reason why nobody called him. There's a reason why everybody called Jabari Smith Rashard Lewis and nobody called him Rashard Lewis. We'll just say that.
And what do you think? Which of these do you think, like Taylor Hendricks, fits? So with Lowry being a small forward, or do you think Taylor's going to be the small forward then in this case?
I think they probably still go Lowry at small forward because of matchups.
Really?
Matchups. Lowry at the 3, just like that made him rediscover his career. So I think for matchups, they probably still have it. But at the end of the day, with those two together on the same court is going to be so interchangeable, it doesn't matter. I love this pick.
And do you think Taylor Hendricks, how much more weight he'll have to put on his body?
Probably he's 220 right now.
Yeah.
He'd probably have to bulk up 15, 20 pounds. If he even needs to add weight, realistically, it depends on what he does. I don't know.
But yeah, you think realistically, he's a guy that NBA, do you think he can make an impact to the Utah Jazz this year?
Yeah, 100%. The Jazz aren't going anywhere, but he's going to 100%. He's going to make an impact.
I just get scared that he'll maybe get hit a rookie wall because of strength reasons, not being able to keep up his first.
Yeah, but that's something that all rookies have to deal with. The Thompson twins have to deal with that too.
No, you're completely right.
Everybody has to deal with that. That's just the reason why I just don't the reason why I don't like saying that about every long skinny guy and just talk about other flaws they have. It's just because everybody has to deal with that.
No, I agree, because I remember when I was asking guys at the combine, what are you working on to get ready for the NBA ever? And then at one point I had to add, besides your body, because they always are asked about bulking up. Yeah. So the first thing they kept saying was their body, and then I was like, besides your body, guys, I need you to tell, what are you guys working on besides, trying to get? I know everyone's trying to get big.
Yeah, everyone's trying to get big or lean, depending on the body type that they are.
What do you think is Taylor Hendricks' size? 230, 240, 250?
His peak, his realistic size is probably if his NBA size is he's probably going to be playing at 240.
240?
240, maybe 250 if he decides to go the Giannis route and just fucking.
I think this is a good pick for them because he does give them big size, and I think they do have a bunch of guys.
Yeah, now they have a bunch of guys that are super interchangeable and versatile, and I really, really like I like that roster.
Supposedly, Bilal Coulibaly got booed.
Well, hey, guess what, Pacers fans? You don't have to deal with him playing for you anymore.
No, completely, and I think
You guys got lucky.
TP, he's the only coach I think I was talking about that Taylor Hendricks could be like what we thought Jonathan Isaac could be before God gave up on him.
God gave up on his knees, yeah.
Yeah, because Jonathan Isaac loves God so much, but
God doesn't love him back, clearly.
And so
God does not love Jonathan Isaac back.
Yeah, so far we have not heard who's the next pick yet. I'm trying to see if there's been any update on the 10th pick. And no, the 10th pick, it seems like the Dallas Mavericks are going to go to the wire with that next pick. And
of course they fucking are. Stupid ass Dallas. They've been trying to trade that pick for the last 2 weeks. They've been trying to trade that shit for the last 2 weeks, but nobody wants it.
Why? You think everyone wants Dallas to fail?
Yes, everyone wants Dallas to fail. 100% people want Dallas to fail, bro. You know it. You know people want Dallas to fail. Come on. Oh my god.
You're so mean, but I honestly
am. It's like Phoenix, dude. Some teams are just destined to fail. Even though Dallas is a successful team, they're just
won a championship.
They're just destined to come up short because they play in the same city as the Cowboys, and people can't have Dallas be good at two different things.
Why? You don't like them?
Anything. No, people can't have Dallas be good at stuff because they're insufferable.
People from Texas are that insufferable, man.
No, I mean when it comes to their sports.
I mean, I can't tell you you're wrong right there. Mr. 81, the reason why I'm not doing highlights is I'm just taking clips from I'm just clipping the stream right now and just giving our takes. So, but yeah, no. And it just doesn't make sense. So right now, I think Dallas, if they were to keep the pick, Grady Dick is entering this realm of the draft.
Cam Whitmore is on the board. You have to take him.
So if we look at
Dallas, you have to take Cam Whitmore. He's on the board.
We have a notification. All right, notification has came through my phone right now. And it is Dallas is trading Davis Bertans and Cason Wallace at number 10 to OKC. OKC sends number 12 and a trade exception to Dallas as part of the deal. Dallas gets off of Bertans' contract. So Cason Wallace has been drafted at 10 overall.
To the Thunder.
To the Thunder, correct. And Dallas is at 12 now. So Thunder draft Cason Wallace at 10.
So Cam Whitmore is still up, dude. Okay, so the reports about Cam Whitmore sliding to 10 clearly were wrong. He's even they clearly didn't they underestimated how far he would slide, I guess. Holy shit.
What do you think initially?
I never liked Cam Whitmore as a prospect compared to some of the other guys. I always thought the other guys that were consistently ranked below him were better. But even I didn't think he'd be out of the top 10 at this point, bro. I didn't think he'd be out of the top 10. I thought for sure he'd be on by now.
I agree that I am surprised by how this has played out that Cam Whitmore has
the
top 10.
I didn't expect the Cam Whitmore slide. What
do you think of OKC drafting Cason Wallace?
That's a good pick for them.
You think so?
That's who
I like him being a backup because you can take Shea or Josh Giddey one at a time off the floor throwing Cason Wallace.
This guy was a 40% three-point shooter who plays elite defense.
Yes, for a guy who watches a bunch of college basketball, what is your give somebody your sales pitch or elevator?
Drew Holiday is his ceiling.
Realistically, what is he going to give him day one off the bench?
He's probably going to give him, in terms of pure numbers, I don't know because it'll be very erratic. He'll have games where his scoring goes off and he has 15. He'll have a game where he doesn't need to score because other guys are stepping up, so he'll average 3. He'll score 3. What he will give you, though, consistently is he was a 40% three-point shooter in college, so he can shoot. He's arguably the best defensive guard in this draft. I'd say he is the best defensive guard in this draft. And arguably the best on-ball defender of anybody in this draft. So I think if he's the best, you get the best defensive player of the draft at 10, on a team that already has a bunch of offense.
Yeah.
And Holmgren coming back next year. That's another big thing that they made the play.
People always forget that Holmgren's coming back.
I know they made the plan without Chet. I remember when I said in January that they were a fucking playoff team, and you guys fucking shit on me.
We did kind of shit on you for
You
that.
shat on me, and they actually ended up making the play-in. I said they were a play-in team, and they made the play-in. They're better than that this year because Chet's coming back, and you got to think another year of development from everybody else.
Is he going to be the Blake Griffin?
Okay, I don't know about that.
You don't think he's Blake Griffin second season?
It is going to be interesting to see Chet compete in Rookie of the Year with these guys, though.
It will be interesting to see how that all plays out, but I think it's definitely going to be interesting to see Cason Wallace next to Shea, next to Josh Giddey. You know, he's one of the best standstill shooters. Like, people don't realize how good of a standstill shooter this guy is. Like,
Cason?
Yeah, Cason Wallace.
Yeah, exactly. Catch and shoot, he's unbelievable. That's why he shot 40% from three. Or 41. It's above 40. I know that. That's how good he was.
Yeah, no, he's going to be someone.
And especially, and in addition to the fact that this is, mind you, this is a John Calipari offense. They live off of contested mid-range jumpers.
So the fact that Cason Wallace did that is just
Cason Wallace was able to shoot that, but he had 11, 12 points, 4 boards, 4 assists. Oh, he ended up 36% from three at the end of the year. He was shooting 40 at the beginning of the year. He must have slipped at the end of the season. Oh my God, he did slip at the end of the season really badly, dude. He was 24% over the last 15 games of the year. That's not good. Anyway.
Well, I didn't know that, but I think it's a great pick regardless.
The point is, like I was just saying, this is a John Calipari offense that we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
This offense does not help score first point guards. If you're not a Derrick Rose or John Wall type, you're not gonna look as good in the offense as the other guys would.
No, I completely get that.
Cason Wallace isn't a guy who will pull up off the dribble and pull up on a mid-range jumper and score like Derrick Rose and John Wall were, John Calipari loves him some contested mid-range jumpers. I'll always love seeing Kentucky Twitter bitch about the shot charts on offense. Oh,
why is that?
Because they look at the shot chart and here's the 3-point line and everything is in the mid-range. There's 5 or 6 threes maybe all game, and it's because they have Antonio Reeves standing there in the corner.
What is your thoughts on the Mavericks trading the 10th pick for right here, what ended up being the 12th pick? What was your thoughts on that?
Did they get rid of Bertans?
They got rid of Bertans, so let me
Plus. He got his contract off the books. They moved down 2 spots, and guess what? They're probably still going to take the guy they wanted at 10. Because it wasn't Cason, clearly.
Do you think they're taking Grady Dick now at 10? So they traded away Davis Bertans and the 10th pick. Let me explain this just for the audience. Yeah. They drafted technically Cason Wallace and packaged him and Davis Bertans with the 10th pick for the 12th pick, which was the Thunder's pick. Now they're at the clock of Thunder. They're off of Davis Bertans' contract, freeing up $18 million. Do you think they continue to package the 12th pick again, send it to
They couldn't trade before the draft. They're just going to incrementally trade down as the draft goes on.
Yeah, do you think
that's not going to happen? No, I don't think they're going to be able to find another trade partner now. But that would be so funny if they just kept packaging down and moving down in the draft.
Next, they go with the Hawks. They send Tim Hardaway Jr.
They're just clearing up as much cap space as possible to sign Kyrie and somebody else.
It would be insane. But do you think this was good managing?
I love Dallas so much. They're so funny. They never cease to bring me entertainment. Oh,
I think this was just good managing because they might be able to go out and get themselves the guy that they were targeting this whole time. So kudos to them for making a move. And we got a selection on the clock.
I think they're going to get the guy they wanted. But I don't know who they wanted, though. So the Magic took Cam Whitmore if it picks in? That was an insane block.
No, they did not. They have taken a guy that I have actually said before kind of makes sense, but I actually thought he was going to slip a little farther. This man, I did not expect to go right here.
Cam Whitmore is on the
board. Jet Howard has just gone 11th overall to the Orlando Magic, the son of Juwan Howard, 6'8".
Whitmore is still on the board.
What is your thoughts? Orlando Magic continue to be obsessed with size. They not only draft Anthony
And Howard
Bryant,
is
now they
stupid.
go out and get Jet Howard. As a fan of the Orlando Magic, I am so excited for us to have ourselves. We have a shooting guard who's 6'8". We have a point guard who's 6'7". We also have Markelle Fultz who's like 6'4", 6'5". We got Franz Wagner who's like 6'9". We got Paulo Banchero who's like 6'10". Dude, we are the biggest team in basketball. We're size.
Bro, I mean, Jet Howard's a sniper, so.
I think it's exactly what we needed. I'm excited for this pick. I think this was the right pick right here.
I'm stunned that Cam Whitmore, a guy who all draft process long, even when he played like crap at times throughout the year, even though he did play good towards the end, he started pretty slowly. That guy, Cam Whitmore, is still on the board at pick 12. So is Dallas going to take Cam? Is that the guy that Dallas wanted all along? And is that who they're going to get at 12?
I don't know, but what do you think of the fit of Jet Howard in Orlando? Do you like that fit?
Yeah, but Cam Whitmore's still on the board.
Yeah, but like you have yourself Jet Howard, who
I'm stunned they didn't take Cam Whitmore. Okay,
no, because because you're dumb at this point. Because at this point you're at the 11th pick. It doesn't matter taking best player available. You're outside of the rim.
If it's a guy who like Cam, Jet Howard is a fit though.
The thing is, Orlando's actually trying to be a win now team, and Jet Howard provides us.
So
we're trying. We were a few games away from the play-in this past year. We're trying to make the jump.
I don't have a problem. Like I don't have a problem with it. I'm just very surprised that like Cam Whitmore has fallen this far. And I was a Cam hater. I was a Cam hater. And you were a Cam Dick writer. I was a Cam hater all fucking like draft process. I said he shouldn't be going top 5. But even I didn't think he'd fall this far.
I know, but I think right here, Jet Howard is the right pick for the Magic. I mean,
I'd say
Grady would have been the better pick if I would have liked more, but it makes complete sense.
Grady's better here, but I also just were biased, so
potentially.
I'd say we're pretty biased when it comes to Grady Dick.
Yeah, no, completely. But it's surprising how
the Cam Whitmore slide. Wow.
How surprised are you with that?
Stunned. I thought he would have gone like somewhere in like I thought there's no way he fell outside the top 10 is what I thought. Like I thought for sure he'd be like a 6, 7, or 8 guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's also where I would have had him ranked in terms of just a big board of the prospects because like I wasn't as high as him as like you and other guys were. Like most of the consensus was really high on Cam Whitmore as a top 5 prospect all year. I was never like that, but I am stunned that he has fallen this far. I guess teams just like have the same issues that I have with him is they don't really know what his ceiling is.
I understand that being a problem, but like
he's already filled out physically. He's not really going to get bigger. He showed shooting promise, but he's not an amazing shooter, and like he might be a good shooter, but like he was also like I was saying earlier that I still haven't had the fucking chance to talk about because he still hasn't been fucking picked. Is that the Jay Wright scheme does not help guys like Cam Whitmore. It helps guys like Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson and Ryan Arcidiacono, but because like it does not help like slow fundamental guards who are good in the half court but may struggle in transition. Cam Whitmore is the opposite of that. And with an offense that doesn't look to push the pace and works the ball around and ranks like 350th plus in the country in tempo, like Nova does, or 300 something in tempo, whatever it is, it does not help get the best out of a guy like Cam Whitmore.
Now you'll be surprised.
It's the Jarris Walker problem. Same shit.
So you want to hear who just went to Dallas?
So who went to Dallas at 12? Not Cam Whitmore, right?
Derek Lively, the second. They get the. What do you think of Derek Lively going 12th overall to Dallas? He's a rim running lob threat. Could be just as good. You said it, if not better than Walker Kessler at protecting the rim. What is your thoughts? Dallas traded back Cason Wallace and Davis Bertans to the Thunder to get the 12th pick.
So obviously, like Derek Lively's a great fit for Dallas, and this just shows you that they're a win now team. Really, that's it. That's all this says. It just says that they're going in. They're going all in on the push for Kyrie and trying to convince him to stay and try to win now.
And how does it
Like
how
Derek
does
Lively, out of all the guys that are available right now, like low key, Derek Lively might be the most NBA ready to contribute right now because you know exactly what you're going to get out of him. You know exactly what he is. He's going to get putbacks. He's going to run to the rim and catch the ball off of a pick and roll and just get a stuff, and he's going to block shots. And he's 7'1". So like,
do you think? Are you surprised by his meteoric rise since the end of the season?
So yes and no. Because
What makes you say that?
he was hurt at the beginning of the year, so like it makes sense why teams finally just were sold on him because they're like not worried about his injury anymore, like they were at the beginning of the year. But I am surprised because he only really was elite at Duke in one thing, and it was blocks. He had this one game against North Carolina that I watched. He had like 6 blocks in the second half and had like 9 blocks for the game against Carolina. There was just one possession where he had like 3 in a row because he kept blocking it, but they kept getting the ball back. Like, you're just making them look like kids out there. It was so funny. That was the game that I actually really started to take him seriously. Is like I liked him a lot as a shot blocker. It's like he is like obviously the best shot blocker in college basketball. So that will help Dallas right now. And they probably saw Derek Lively and they're like, well, out of all the guys who could realistically help us get better, we know he's going to help us get better because we know exactly what we're going to get. There was no question mark except for health. But that's a question mark with everybody. Derek fucking Lively, man. Holy shit. You're still muted.
Sorry, I didn't mean to keep myself muted, but I'm still surprised how this all played out because I really did think, Derek Lively was going to be closer to 20, but here comes Dallas Mavericks. They get a guy who's going to make a day one impact. They saw how Walker Kessler did it. Derek Lively is going to be huge for this team.
Same shit. Same. That's his pro comp.
You're comparing him to Walker Kessler at this point?
They're both 5-star big guys who were dominant shot blockers in college and dominant off putbacks and dunks, except Walker Kessler was better, but he also didn't battle injuries like Derek Lively did. So, I don't know, same body type. Like, they're literally the same player. Like,
who do you think's gonna have? What do you think Derek Lively's ceiling is, though, as a player? Like offensively, they say he can develop a 3-point shot. Do you buy into that?
No. I'm sorry, I don't. I've got to see it to believe it.
What do you think it is?
What do you mean?
It's
Walker Kessler. His ceiling is prime Gobert.
What is Walker Kessler? Can they be all-stars?
Gobert.
Gobert was an all-star?
I know. Gobert. That's their ceiling.
Wow. You're confident on that right there. You're saying Walker Kessler and Derek Lively, Derek Lively is who you're comparing them to, have Rudy Gobert ceilings.
Oh, they're going to be better. Dude, okay, but I also...
Imagine Luka Doncic and Kyrie throwing lobs to Derek Lively. That's beautiful.
I don't think Gobert's that good, though.
Prime Gobert, you didn't believe?
No, I never believed because I always thought he was a fraud.
Wow.
These guys
Wait.
wait. These guys are better at defending guards on the perimeter and wings on the perimeter than Gobert. My bad.
Oh, so you're saying they're going to be 4 times?
They're going to be better. They're going to, whether the media and whether they have the accolades that Gobert has to back up being as good as Gobert, they will be as good as Gobert.
Okay.
Like, they might not get like their dick sucked and win like multiple defensive player of the years, despite the fact that they suck at guarding guards on switches on the perimeter, despite the fact that Terrence Mann switched on him and said food in the playoffs when the Clippers were down by 20. But whatever. The point is, they are there. That's not Gobert. That's the comp.
So that's the comp.
That's the comp. It's fucking Gobert. I don't know.
I mean, I like the comp. I mean, I'm happy for the Mavs.
Derek Lively's per 40 minutes stats in college for block shots is 4.7. He only played 20 minutes a game and he averaged like almost 3 blocks a night. That is
And
nuts.
Wasn't Walker Kessler like 4?
Walker Kessler
It was like 5.
he played 25 minutes a night, and he averaged like 5 or 4.5. Yeah.
So Walker Kessler's way better.
Duke also sucked ass, and Auburn was a way better team that year.
Wow, excuses.
I mean, dude, his ceiling. I said he's about as good as Walker Kessler. I didn't say he was gonna be better than Walker Kessler. I said he could be as good as Walker Kessler. He'll have a similar impact.
No, I completely understand that, and it's crazy how
They're both 7'1", 230-ish, 240-ish. It's crazy how similar they are. Walker Kessler averaged 2.3 blocks a game last year.
Who do you think's gonna be the net where Cam Whitmore lands at this point?
Raptors.
Raptors could be a spot, but would that mean they're moving on from?
That would mean they're trading OG. That would mean they're trading OG, so not the Raptors. Unless they're trading OG.
I don't think
Dude,
so.
Who's gonna take them? Who are they gonna go? Like, this is insane.
I am like low key. I have no idea.
It would be the worst thing ever, but I could see happening.
What?
He falls into Danny Ainge's lap at 16.
Danny Ainge takes him. Utah gets him.
That's a Danny Ainge fucking pick right there.
Was it Zaire Williams or Jalen Johnson who slipped?
Zaire Williams. I think they both did low key.
Jalen, I think, fell harder.
He fell in the 20s, if I'm not mistaken. Zaire Williams was like 16 or 15.
And Zaire was like a last pick of the lottery, I think.
Yeah. Bro, remember when Jarrett Culver was a top 6 pick?
I don't even want to talk about it.
Remember when Jarrett fucking Culver? You remember when Zaire Smith from Texas Tech was a lottery pick?
That's what winning a national championship does, bro. Makes you a top pick.
He didn't even win. They lost to Virginia in overtime. They didn't even win.
Yeah,
Ty Jerome became a first-round pick because of that.
Ty Jerome he wasn't a first-round pick. He was a second.
No, Kyle Guy was.
Cam Whitmore to the Hawks.
Quinn Snyder goes Cam. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Ty Jerome was the 24th overall pick. Yeah, Ty Jerome. I told you Ty Jerome.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Ty Jerome, man.
8 minutes. We still have no.
How? How did that happen? How did we, as a society, I guess the Timberwolves, because they're fucking brain dead, but the Timberwolves are a brain dead organization. Bro, they took Ricky Rubio and Johnny Flynn with back-to-back picks before Steph Curry.
It's supposed to be the future backcourt. It was supposed to be the future backcourt, baby.
Yeah, and it should have been Steph.
I can't defend that instead of Steph Curry. They should have taken Ricky Rubio and Steph Curry. Imagine that. We would have won.
Steph Curry was better off the ball.
Imagine how many championships we would have won.
Yeah, Ricky Rubio and Steph Curry's the backcourt.
Better than Klay Thompson. Better than Klay.
Steph's ankles were shit though.
They would have figured it out because by the time Rubio would have came over, Steph's ankles would have been semi-healed.
Steph, Kevin Love, Rubio. They had Al Jefferson on those teams for a few years, right? Or was he?
What?
Was Al Jefferson there after Kevin Love, or did he play with Kevin Love in Minnesota?
He played with Kevin Love. We had Kevin Love on the team.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Al Jefferson would have been there. Wow. Talk about a great team talk about losing in the second round or conference finals. Holy shit, that's a fucking great team to do that with. That's a great team to lose in the playoffs every year to the Spurs and shit. Fuck yeah.
You're such an asshole.
Nobody, I'm sorry, but you can't tell me that they were going to beat. The Warriors dynasty doesn't exist, though. So maybe they get lucky and they get to the finals or something and they get one. Because, like, the Warriors dynasty doesn't happen anymore. So who would take over after the Spurs? Still the Spurs because they won.
Who do the Raptors take? Do they take a shooter because they're clearly running it back?
I don't know. Jordan Hawkins?
Nick Smith Jr. I don't even.
They want pure shooting. It would be Jordan Hawkins.
He's the best shooter remaining. Great dick, bro. They love size.
Bobby Marks' team needs guard depth and shot blocking. Well, you know who fills both of those? Grady Dick and Jordan Hawkins.
Vision 6'9".
They shouldn't overthink it. They should take Grady Dick here. Really, they shouldn't overthink it.
Division 6-9, baby.
Yeah, they shouldn't overthink it. Take Grady. Wow. So Derek Lively is going to Dallas.
I know that blows my mind.
That blows my mind that they traded down. I guess positives are they got a day one contributor right away.
And they got off of Davis Bertans'
They got off
contract.
of Davis Bertans' contract or Davis.
Karam, you're right. Kassan Wallace is a great fit for OKC.
We were talking about that earlier. That's a great fit.
Derek Lively.
So Dallas probably wanted Derek Lively anyway, because there's no way you take this. There's no way you take him this early if you didn't want him. So they were like, we can always trade back and still get him because we think he's still going to be available, and he was.
Someone says Derek Lively is going to be Tyson Chandler for them.
Yeah,
What are your
that's
thoughts?
actually not about. That's actually a good comparison. Yeah, it's actually a good comparison.
I want to know who the Raptors take. Raptors are. What did we just see him trade?
He's not as big as Tyson Chandler though.
Tyson Chandler was like 7'1" or 7'3".
I'm talking about they're the same height. I'm talking about the jackness.
Yeah, but that was like we know Tyson Chandler like in year 10 and above, not like Tyson Chandler in year 1 in 1999, bro, or 2001, whatever. it
Okay,
was.
Tyson Chandler in year 1 in 1999. Yeah, that's similar. I mean, he was still a little bigger than.
No, completely. You're right.
But like that's why I say he's Walker Kessler body type.
I remember he compared himself. Derek Lively compared himself to Willie Cauley-Stein, but TB
Yeah,
says
that's another one.
Bufkin or Brees. I don't think Brees goes
We
this
saw
high.
the tweet before. We saw the tweet before that when
What?
there was a tweet that was on your screen earlier that I saw, and it was when we were talking about the draft suits, and it was Kobe Bufkin's preferred destination is Toronto.
Is that so?
It was on your screen when you looked up Kobe Bufkin. I couldn't tell who said it because I wasn't fast enough because you moved way too fast. But I saw that on your screen. It said Kobe Bufkin's preferred destination is Toronto. And he's available right now.
He is available. What do you think he is? What?
Unless they want to go Grady. Unless they want to go Grady Dick here.
Grady Dick would fit in Division 6-9 that Masai Ujiri loves so much.
The worst part is, bro, like, dude, you know who loves all this? You know who
Who?
sits back and looks at all these guys that are now going to be available to him outside of the lottery? Danny Ainge.
What are the
Somebody who shouldn't have been available at 16 is going to be available at 16, and Danny Ainge is going to be like, "Ooh, I'm
Is Cam Whitmore a second round pick? Is somebody just going to come in and draft Imani Bates?
okay, stop it." Pistons trade back up into the first round to take Amani Bates at 18.
My, you don't believe it?
Raptors pick is in. Adam Silver's announcing it right now. Wait, did this not get leaked?
It just got like they're taking Grady Dick.
Yeah, okay. Wow, so the Raptors kept that under wraps if that just got announced just now. Because that's on pace with me right now.
Was that a pun? The Raptors kept it under wraps as they just drafted our man.
The Raps kept their dick under wraps.
Because they just got a dick by the name of Grady Dick. That's 2 KU alumni now. We both got to see Grady Dick play in person. Grady Dick's continues Vision 6'9", to say at the least. 6'8", almost 6'9" shooting guard. Perfect picture perfect release. Huh?
What the fuck is his suit, bro? That shit is so red and sparkly.
Is his mom a MILF like Christian Brown's?
No. His mom's just like a bland white woman.
Okay, but what do you think?
Dude, look up his
Grady
fucking
Dick.
suit. Look up his suit.
No, I want to talk about Grady Dick next to Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, OG Anunoby, Jakob Pertl. Okay, the rest of that roster is going to look great. We don't know what's going to happen with Fred VanVleet, but Gary Trent Jr. is coming back. They still got that young. I guess Otto Porter opted in. We don't know what's happening there, but hey,
bro,
Raptors.
the fucking Wichita, Kansas kid is going to go north of the border to fucking Toronto.
Yeah, what do you think?
That's going to be such a culture shock for him. Well, not really, because he's an NBA player.
What if he comes back saying, "Hey, a boot? It's a boot time. I came here."
Yeah, it's a boot
But
time.
Grady Dick comes here. Let's see what's one of our fans. TP, what do you think of Grady Dick? Bro looking like a Joffrey. Dick it is.
Yeah, dude, his suit is fucking ridiculous.
I think he did. I like this pick. This was a safe pick.
Yeah,
Good rebounder,
yeah,
good
yeah.
defender.
Yeah.
He's basically Kevin Herter on offense, who can rebound and play and guard 1 through 3.
And he might be a good defender in the NBA level. He's serviceable. Serviceable is the word, I think. I wouldn't say good.
Serviceable.
Serviceable.
He's not Denny Avdia, but he's like.
He's not Anthony Simons.
But he's not Denny. I was comparing him to white guys, but.
I'm comparing him to shit defenders.
I mean, Denny Avdia is a good defender.
I'm comparing Grady Dick to shit defenders. I said he's not Anthony Simons, but he's not.
He's basically gonna be like Cam Johnson on defense.
Yeah, serviceable. There you go.
You won't complain. He's Cam Johnson as a shooting guard. That's what Grady Dick is. Cam Johnson as a shooting guard.
Like he'll get burned sometimes, and you'd be like, "Oh shit!" But
that's just because he's not laterally quick or the agility right there.
Quick,
but he's 6'9", 6'8", 6'9".
He has long arms,
shooting guard,
good rebounder, and he seems to have good instincts.
And his offensive game is going to be eerily similar to Kevin Herter.
Yeah, cuts and shooting threes.
And movement shooting, a lot of movement shooting. I think it's a good pick for the.
Yeah, shooting threes and cuts to the basket.
All in all, it's a good pick for the Raptors. Safe one that makes sense for the organization, and one that's going to be like.
They're probably a little shocked he's still available at 13. They probably figured.
I did not. Yeah, I thought he would.
They're probably a little surprised.
I thought Grady Dick would be taken. I thought it was going to be Jet Howard who would maybe go here, but Grady Dick go to Orlando.
Jet Howard went to go to Orlando a lot before we expected him to. So, and Derek Lively went off the board at 12.
Yeah, and it's
okay. So at this rate, bro, the Jazz are going to be fucking great, dude. The Jazz are going to have Keontae George, Jordan. So maybe they have all of them, but I think some of them are going to go. They got to go now at this point, right? Like Jalen Hood-Schifino, Keontae George, Cam Whitmore, Jordan Hawkins, Kobe Buffkin. These guys are going to all be available, or some of them will all be available to the Jazz at 16. Danny Ainge won. Danny Ainge won.
You think so?
Yeah, Danny Ainge won.
I think right here, because also we hear that the Mavericks are active in the market because they now have a $17 million trade exception at their utilization.
Who does?
The Dallas Mavericks after the Davis Bertans trade.
You said $7 million?
17.
Oh, wow.
So they can use that.
That'll be pretty good to make some moves.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they utilize
38 seconds ago, the Mavs are active in the trade marketplace.
So the New Orleans Pelicans are selecting a man out of UConn. Look at this. What's your opinion on the Magic's picks? I'm a Magic fan. I'm pretty surprised they also passed up on Grady Dick. I loved him too. I went to the University of Kansas. He was somebody I really wanted. He's a good rebounding wing who on offense is very similar to Kevin Herter. He's a serviceable defender, probably in the same vein, but as a swingman version of Cam Johnson. And I think Jet Howard's a good pick. He kind of offers similar thing, but he's more athletic, but he didn't show the tape of being a good defender and rebounder. You believe that Jamal Mosley is going to make him buy in. I agree. There's so much European basketball talent, and the reason why there's very few players taken at the top of the draft is a combination of questions about the competition they play in, questions that, not a lot of access to scouting them. It's a lot harder, as well as, there is questions. Usually those players are fundamentally sound, but they usually lack one skill as they're more of a team player than as takeover talent.
Whether they came over, whether they decide just not to stay in Europe instead of just coming here.
That's the other thing, but there's less and less draft and stash draft.
That's not as big of a thing now. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, the draft and stash days aren't exactly
those are usually the late round picks now.
Yeah.
But right here, Jordan Hawkins getting drafted by the Pelicans signify a win now player who's going to come in and shoot a lot of 3-pointers for this team, who's going to really help them out with being able to space the floor.
Keeping their core intact, I think.
Yeah, and I think
I
he
think
comes
they
in.
plan on. I think Zion. I think they are going to keep Zion. I think they're gonna work it out because there's no. I mean, it's not saying there's like you only trade Zion if you can get adequate or greater value than him. And Zion, even though he's missed time, he's still played more games than Embiid at this point in his career.
Yeah, and I think at this point you're looking at a guy who
You know what he brings.
Hawkins can play alongside Zion. He can play alongside Herb Jones. He can play alongside Brandon Ingram. He can play alongside CJ McCollum, Dyson Daniels. There's a plethora of guys that he fits next to. So I don't think it's
because his game isn't reliant on, as his game isn't reliant on playing a certain way or having the ball as much in his hands as other guys.
And also he's probably going to be very similar to Jeremy Lamb, but a better shooter.
I would have liked Jalen Hood-Schifino for versatility here.
Yeah, but they didn't need it because
they decided that shooting helped them more, so I can't really blame them.
No,
Kobe Buffett was also on the board too, but you can't really blame him here. You can't really blame them for going Jordan.
They took who they thought at this point in the draft. You don't take best player available. You take best fit usually.
You take because at this point, best player available doesn't mean shit because all these guys are around the same level of
And a couple of these teams are trying to make the jump from playoff team or to a playoff team or to a contender.
Yeah, that's why Dallas went Derek Lively, and that's why the Pelicans went Hawkins.
You gotta need to take the win now.
The Raptors did a weird bit of both because if the Raptors really wanted best player available, they would have gone Cam Whitmore. But they also Grady Dick was literally the second best guy available, and he was supposed to go off the board earlier, and he fit their team better. So,
yeah. So
Cam Whitmore to the Jazz. So Cam Whitmore to the Jazz at 16, right? Or he goes to the Hawks here at 15 because Quinn Snyder wants a pro-ready guy, and he's like, "Ooh, Cam Whitmore. He doesn't have to add weight."
No, completely. And I think right here when you're looking at a team like the Raptors and the Pelicans, they're trying to win, so they're taking, and even the Mavericks, they're trying to take the best guy available. And I think it's definitely going to look like these are teams that are going to definitely take the guys who they can implement now, play 15, 20 minutes a night, and then when somebody that might get paid or they might be priced out that they have to trade, they're going to be able to then, have these guys plug in and play, basically, is how I see it. But
the Pelicans are not. They're not looking to what am I trying to say? Basically, they're ready right now. They're ready to win. They have the core in place. They gotta go. They know they gotta go for it. They know they need to win this year. So
peace out, TP. Oh, my voice cracked.
What are you, fucking 13?
Maybe.
They compared Jordan Hawkins to Ray Allen.
That's kind of absurd, but I do love Jordan Hawkins. So
I think they're just comparing. I mean, they're not showing. The only highlights they're showing is Celtics and Heat highlights where he came off the screens. So if they're comparing it to that version of Ray Allen, old Ray Allen, that's fine, but he is not Ray Allen.
I think that's
a little much. That's a little much, guys. I like Jordan Hawkins a lot, but that's a little much. Come on now. This is Ray Allen we're talking about here.
Greatest shooter of all time, some might say.
I think it's Steph Curry, but
some might say it's still Ray Allen.
You do not actually believe that, do you? You don't believe that, do
no.
you?
You want to turn on a light, you dark ass motherfucker?
Oh.
Huh?
So I'm a little bit. I guess I should turn a light. I was gonna hop off the stream, but I think I'll stay to the Celtics pick.
Look at that. We're over here. I think the most shocking thing everyone has right now is Cam Whitmore being just falling this far.
First time watching the draft since 2017, man.
I think definitely it is basically. I think it's been an interesting draft because all the players that we presumed, except for maybe Derek Lively,
have
gone.
Cam Whitmore is still available, which we didn't expect.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting draft. It's no 2013 draft, but it's interesting. It's not
it definitely isn't.
It's not when Anthony Bennett went number 1 overall and Bill Simmons was just like, whoa, whoa.
I think that was funny when Anthony Bennett. No one
Yeah.
expected Anthony Bennett to go.
Everyone was like Nerlens Noel or who else was like really high up there? It was
Nerlens Noel.
Nerlens Noel. Ben McLemore was like picked 4th or 5th in that draft. Oladipo was like supposed to be a top 5.
Wasn't Giannis in that draft?
But he was like 13th or 14th. Giannis was like not a top 5 prospect. Not was Anthony Bennett though.
Yeah.
CJ McCollum was 10th. Shabazz Muhammad was 14th. Giannis was
So we
15th.
got breaking news. We got who has been drafted by
Cam Whitmore?
the. No, it's someone that we said because this.
Oh my God! Danny Ainge won this draft. Danny Ainge got Cam Whitmore at 16. Oh my God, Danny Ainge, bro.
Kobe
Fuck Danny
Buffkin.
Ainge. Kobe Buffkin. Wow, interesting. Does this mean that Deontay is not in the Hawks' plans for the future?
I guess not. Kobe Buffkin has gone to the Atlanta Hawks. What are your
Does that
thoughts
mean
right
Deontay's in
there?
the trade block?
DeJounte?
Yeah. DeJounte
I mean,
Murray's gonna
they've
be
just
traded.
needed a backup point guard this whole time. So I think more
DeJounte
Kobe
Murray is,
Buffkin.
I don't think DeJounte Murray is probably not in the team's plans for the future, is what this pick means, I think.
Isn't it crazy? We're only at pick 15 and it's like almost 2 hours in.
Yeah, because the draft takes so fucking long, dude.
They fly through the second round, though.
I just hate how they make the draft such a big deal in the NFL and NBA.
At least the NBA does it in one night. But Kobe Buffkin going to the Hawks, I think, was a good pick.
NFL's the worst, bro. NFL sucks ass the draft. It's always funny though. The NFL draft is the draft I watch. I don't give a shit about the NBA draft, but because my team doesn't pick. In the NFL, and late first round picks still matter.
You think so?
Yeah, in the NBA, like Gershon Yabusele is a late first round pick. And what the
I
fuck
forgot
is he? Yeah,
Gershon
you forgot.
Yabusele
Yeah.
was a name that I forgot about. Well, I'm not clip. I
Real
finished.
fan, though.
Yeah, or Jordan Mickey.
James Young and Jordan Mickey on those Celtic teams. Those
James
guys
Young
are-
was a first round pick.
Yeah, also a first round pick. Jordan Mickey wasn't though.
No, he was a second.
Jordan Mickey,
But I
that's
wa-
a Celtics legend. That's a Celtics legend right there.
I clipped the whole first lottery. I'm not going to do a clip anymore of the show of the stream.
Yeah, because we're not in the lottery anymore. No one cares.
Yeah, just the first 14 picks. If there's like a massive trade that happens, that's the only thing I'd clip, you know?
Yeah.
But at this point, I also want to say this has been the slowest draft.
Yeah, because they're just really taking their time. They're really taking their sweet time doing shit. But for all the time that they're taking, you'd think there'd be more trades.
So Keontae George has been taken by Utah. We go
That's
Kobe
a-
Buffkin.
That's a Keontae George pick. Don't tell me that the Lakers are going to get Cam Whitmore. But
Or
it
Nick
doesn't make
Smith.
sense to me. It doesn't make sense for the Lakers to take Cam Whitmore.
But who do the
Holy
Lakers
shit.
take?
Dude,
Now
okay,
that you're-
so something had to Cam Whitmore. Some bad shit had to go down in his pre-draft workouts / meetings.
His personality must be bad or something.
Yeah, because like there's no way that like even my concerns on tape where I had him going below the
He was still a lottery talent.
he was still a lottery talent. I had him going in the late lottery, but I still had him going in the lottery. Like something had to like this is not basketball related, bro. What happened? What
Yeah,
happened?
like I want to know why Cam Whitmore
Is he like a
has-
dickhead?
He's just a profusive asshole. That's why he thought
Asshole? Is he like Dennis? Is he like a Dennis Leary song?
I'm an asshole. Dennis Leary's so good, bro.
Fucking Diego, man. Diego's
But no,
so good.
I definitely think it's interesting to see how this all plays out. As
I am
I wanna-
stunned that Cam Whitmore.
what's the next team that takes if Keontae George is off the board? What's the next team to take? Who could take Cam Whitmore? Who's even interested?
Not the Lakers. They don't have no need for him.
The Warriors.
Oh my god, it would be the Warriors. It fucking would be the Warriors.
They're holding on to the dream of the youth, the two eras.
about
Even
Miami.
though it's funny that Ryan Rollins was thrown in that trade. Miami,
Yeah.
maybe.
Ryan Rollins
maybe.
was just kind of thrown.
Oh, dude, we're so stupid. It's the Rockets.
At 20.
If he's available, if Cam Whitmore's at
Because
20,
Miami would take him.
yeah.
It's the fucking Rockets.
You've been ripped apart. You've been ripped apart in the comments of the clips
By what? For what?
for just being a terrible co-host.
Oh, am I? Oh, sorry. Sorry, guys.
It was geek. A few of the comments are geek.
What they say?
Let me read one.
Was it one of
Whoever
my-
the other guy is obviously doesn't know the Hornets. He don't know what he's talking about.
Why would I
Appreciate
even
it.
fuck with them?
Appreciate it, bro. But you may need a new co-host.
Oh man, love to see it.
That's geek. You're not a TV guy.
What?
I said you're not a TV guy.
Yeah, I am. I go live in the show all the time.
I know. I'm kidding.
I'm not a Hornets
Dude,
guy, I guess.
One of my best, funniest comments was Victor. Victor really got Bilal up to a top 10. That's what's up. He was 17 or 20 a few days ago. That's facts.
Vic got his boy. Vic got his boy, bro.
It's wild so far to see how this has all just turned out with the draft. I think, Brandon Miller and Scoot Henderson, that was the whole thing we saw. But the Thompson twins going back to back, we kind of saw. I think Anthony Black to the Magic. I knew there was rumblings as more and more draft day came back closer and closer, but your boy just didn't want to accept that could be a reality. And it does become a reality that, it's fine. I'm a Magic fan, so I'm happy he's on one of my teams, but I wanted him. Hopefully Bilal Coulibaly.
You want him to be on your other team.
Yeah. I had someone comment on the
Absolutely
Bilal.
horrible. I'm looking at the fucking comments on your Magic clip. Absolutely horrible draft for the Magic with both picks.
Some people are not happy with Adedipe Adedunji.
I don't have a problem with either.
I don't have a problem with their draft. I thought their drafts has been great. I mean, Jed Howard,
Yeah.
I rather would take great dick, but I see the positional value, the positional fit in taking him. But right now with Keontae George going to Utah, I think that one was kind of surprising in terms of I thought they would take the highest potential guy, but they didn't.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. I'm looking at this clip right now. Oh my god, yeah, no wonder. I was dabbing in the middle of that.
What?
The one where it's like you made me a new co-host? Yeah, I'm not looking at the screen for the entire clip, bro, because I was heating up a dabbing, cleaning the shit off my table because some reclaim got on the table.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
Hey, though,
I didn't want to do it on camera.
we pumped out 14 videos in the
Nice. Yeah, I didn't want to do it on camera, so I moved it to the side a little bit. I didn't want to do it like on the camera.
No,
that's why I'm gonna mute myself. Oh, that's funny.
And this is the part where no one cares about the draft anymore. As soon as the lottery ends. But I'm surprised teams are taking this long. Is it just a bunch of trade talks?
What? Oh, maybe. I don't know, because this is the point where the big board kind of goes out the window. So
Yeah.
although the big board's been out the window since Cam Whitmore's still available.
Let's look at our big board, how we had it looking. Let's see who's left on the big board. All right. Let me go ahead and edit it real quick and put up the new big board. This will be geek as hell. So let me just take off everybody off our big board that we thought, that has been drafted. Never mind, not that we thought. Dude, this big board's going to look crazy, okay? You're going to laugh so hard when you see this big board, dude.
Why, is it supposed to be fucked up?
Yeah, because you're just going to be like, how are these the guys who are still on the board? Okay. I think I got everybody. Yep. Okay. You're about to see the craziest big board on earth, man. You ready? Tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready, dude. Just show it. Go for it. Let me see it.
Right here. Here is the wildest big board ever. So here we are. Left on the board is Cam Whitmore, Leonard Miller, Reese Sensabaugh, Jalen Hood-Schifino, Nick Smith, Chris Murray, Dariq Whitehead, Gigi Jackson. Oh,
Abdullah Coulibaly.
Yeah, and Jet Howard. One second, let me update this. I thought I got everybody. That's embarrassing.
You forgot some big names that are taking. You got some big names that are still available. Wow, bro. Wow. So have the Lakers picked yet?
No, the Lakers have not picked yet.
Wow. Because Keontae George is walking up to the stage right now because the Jazz are done.
Here's the updated board right here. These are who's left on our board.
Los Angeles Lakers, you are on the clock.
Dude, this big
Lakers
board is
Cam
wild.
Whitmore. Lakers pick Cam Whitmore. This is a tweet. Lakers pick Cam Whitmore. He'll score 13 points on opening night and get 278 SportsCenter IG posts over the next 2 weeks.
Nikki goes, I hope. Grady Dick blows CB out the water in Toronto, but still go Nugs.
Yeah. I mean, he probably will, low-key. He'll be better than CB, I think. Cause CB was good, but it's like CB's a bench guy who plays hard on defense. You know? That's his role. Which is a fine role to play. You know, Tony Allen made a fucking living off of doing that, and then he ended up starting because he did that so well. But like,
I mean, people also forget that Tony Allen is a guy that was like a freak athlete before he got out his knee.
Yeah, and also like he was also a better shooter than Grady Dick, or not Grady Dick, fucking Christian Brown. Oh, nice, not Grady Dick. Fucking.
Who's the most? But obviously, Cam Whitmore being the most surprising name still on the board. Is it Leonard Miller, Jalen Hood-Schifino, Nick Smith, Dariq Whitehead? Who's here?
Okay, so none of these names are really surprising besides like Jalen Hood-Schifino and Cam Whitmore, because like we thought those guys would be lottery guys and they're not. So probably those guys.
And usually the back end of the lottery, they start to pick up the pace, but like they have still yet to announce whoever goes next. And I'm very curious to see who really is going to be the guy that at 17 the Los Angeles Lakers take, because we thought they were going to trade the pick, so maybe they're taking it down to the minute. Because we heard Utah conversations and trading.
So the Lakers have not announced because they are on the clock. They've got 3 minutes until they have to pick.
They have not. Here, give me 1 second to use the bathroom, but let me hear your thoughts on, or let the audience hear your thoughts on who you think the Lakers should draft.
Who I think the Lakers should draft? I mean, Cam Whitmore, man. Cam Whitmore or Jalen Hood-Schifino. But Cam Whitmore shouldn't be available right now. Cam Whitmore was a top 10 pick all draft. There's no reason that he should be available right now. He's got an NBA ready frame. He showed shooting promise. He's not an amazing shooter, but like 35% is nothing to scoff at. And Jalen Hood-Schifino, obviously, guard spot versatility, 1 through 3, potentially 4 in a small lineup, 6'6", played point guard at times last year for Indiana. Those are the two guys that they should pick here.
Yeah, and I think
the two guys that shouldn't be on the board right now are the two guys that the Lakers should pick. And it's Cam Whitmore, Jalen Hood-Schifino.
Cam Whitmore really could be a Shaedon Sharpe for them. This is a little farther away than where Shaedon was selected, but Shaedon was a guy who kind of fell down the board. But if we redrafted last year's, you would kind of say Shaedon would go third.
Wild to think about that Cam Whitmore is still on the fucking board right now.
He could, and the thing is for the Lakers, you'd be like, why would they draft him? Because he's not going to help them. Well, he could be a trade chip by the deadline, or even this offseason.
Or a trade chip right now.
Because people forget Andrew Wiggins was traded after he was drafted, and they had to wait 2 months to complete it because they had to wait till 60 days after he signed his contract to make him trade eligible.
Yeah, because they had to wait to do some free agency stuff before they could make the trade for. They had to wait to see to have the LeBron saga and shit finalized. You know,
yeah,
because LeBron hadn't joined the Cavs yet.
Exactly,
but
and nothing so far. We have no news on who the Lakers. I'm going on Twitter right now to see if there's anything going.
There's a minute on the clock.
Okay, so I think the Lakers got to be
called Lakers, Heat, and Warriors. Sources said, is that Jake Fisher that said that? Yeah.
I'm hearing people have not. There's been no tweets, not even by.
Nobody knows what
Sounds
the
great.
Lakers are doing.
Yeah, nobody knows what the Lakers are doing right now. Someone just commented, "We got ourselves." Oh, you're good, Aaron. How you doing, big boss? Hope you're having a good night. We're just over here talking about the fact that Cam Whitmore, Jalen Hood-Schifino still on the board. I still think it's
Why
surprising.
is Imani Bates trending right now?
If Imani Bates was taken in the first round, I'm shocked. This draft has.
It's just random Imani Bates shit. So
we have it. We have an announcement.
On the clock.
Nope, they have drafted. They have drafted the man that they should have drafted. Right here, he is.
Talking about.
What are your thoughts? Jalen Hood-Schifino being drafted. He's the guy that I've said personally.
You go ahead because I just explained everything about why he's a good fit for the Lakers.
He's a good fit. He can play 1, 2, 3 for them. I think he's a guy that there's two ways he develops. If he develops as a point guard, he's Spencer Dinwiddie. If he develops as a wing, he could maybe become a Quentin Grimes that they teach him how to play defense. Now you're saying, well, this is a guy who played guard, combo guard in college. Why would it be a wing? Look at Austin Reeves, a guard, combo guard in college, became a swing man for the Lakers. This is a day in the league. If you're 6'5", 6'6", baby, and you can handle a rock, you will be used as a swing man if there's other guards playing in front of you. Because if you can make yourself, versatile, adaptable, in whatever scenario is needed, he's going to be a guy who can be a secondary playmaker, a guy who can go out, hit shots for this team. He can be a secondary creator. He can be a guy who can help run the second unit, especially if they lose Dennis Schroeder or somebody in free agency. We assume they're not going to lose Austin Reeves, but Jalen Hood-Schifino is a guy who can help out day one, playing 1, 2, or 3. Only questions with him is, can Darvin Ham get this man to play defense?
Yeah, that basically sums it up. I already talked about Hood-Schifino again. I don't really feel like repeating myself, but
repeat yourself.
What?
Repeat yourself.
Oh my God! I just said it. I literally said when you were gone, he can guard 1 through 3. He played point guard at times for Indiana. He's a good facilitator for this team. I don't really. I mean, there's not much else to say. That's already been said.
Are you surprised they didn't trade this pick?
Yes, and I think they tried to trade the pick. That's why they took so long.
Yeah, I agree. And Aaron
they just couldn't get to a deal.
Aaron, Kobe Buffkin's a good 6'4", 6'5" guy. He can either play point guard or shooting guard. He's going to be a good backup for both DeJounte Murray and Trae Young. He's the backup point guard they've needed for the last several seasons. So for the Atlanta Hawks, they get themselves a solid guard right here who can play multiple positions and be an impact player for them, which is something that they've needed. So for me, I think it's a good move. It's a good move, a move that they needed to do. And I think with what it'll allow them, if DeJounte Murray is actually traded, don't worry, they got another guard on deck. Okay, it's not Sharif Cooper, baby. It's a bit better than that. So that's where I want to hear. I can't even get my hat straight. Yeah, there's my hat. I feel like the hat's not straight then. There, the hat's straight. I've been like bumping this hat so many times during the stream. But that's who it is, Aaron. Thank you for everybody who's watching. Hit that like and subscribe button. We're 2 hours strong into this. And it's definitely getting interesting with more and more. We're halfway through the first round. The second round will definitely be interesting to see how it all goes down, because this is where it gets interesting. Who's going to be the last few picks? But I definitely would like to hear, who do you guys think is the most surprising person to fall so far? We have right here, which we need to update, with Jalen Hood-Schifino off the board. It's now the top. Cam Whitmore continues to be the top available prospect on the big board we made earlier. And I think we're all still shocked that Cam's here, as I didn't think he'd be someone that would be available this late. And right now, look, we're at pick 18, okay? What is this? Pick 18, I believe, is Miami. So will Miami take Leonard Miller, Cam Whitmore? Will they take Chris Murray, who's more NBA ready? Will they take a guard in Nick Smith? The best shooter is probably Maxwell Lewis at this point. I'm not crazy about CD Sissoko, but like he's a guy that some people are really high on. Jaime Jaquez is probably the most NBA ready guy. Will they take another big in Noah Clowney? This is definitely where it gets interesting to hear the Miami Heat, who they could possibly take as we get closer to the start of the end of the first round, which is really where the good teams are going to start. You guys just hear that? I just dropped my water bottle. But it's really where we're going to hear like the good teams start to choose who they might take and why they might take someone in this round is because of positional fit because of what team needs is. A team like Miami, they need 3-point shooting and front court help. Okay, the best big to take right here is Noah Clowney. I don't think GG Jackson. I think right here they're probably debating between Cam Whitmore, Leonard Miller, Nick Smith, Chris Murray, and Maxwell Lewis, and maybe Noah Clowney, maybe Jaime Jaquez. Those are probably the guys that they're looking at this range. And it makes complete sense for them to probably be debating right here because one of those guys are going to help them be able to, fill out the rotation, especially if they're still trying to make a big move. This is a team that's trying to trade Kyle Lowry, trying to trade Duncan Robinson to retool this roster around the core that they currently have. We know Max Strus is going into free agency. So again, getting a shooter like Maxwell Lewis or Chris Murray, would help in front court. But if they really want someone with potential, Cam Whitmore, Leonard Miller, Nick Smith are the guys to, understand. Rain Rupert wouldn't be a surprising pick. He's a very very Heat pick right there. So if the Heat were trying to go with someone that they would like, I could see Rain Rupert, Leonard Miller. Cam Whitmore is the guy who probably has the highest potential at this point. So again, it's going to be probably what they're trying to decide is, do we go for someone who can impact and help us win right now, or do we take the guys that are available who have very high potential, who could quite possibly be all-stars? Cam Whitmore has all-star potential. Nick Smith has all-star potential. Do you take a chance on Cam Whitmore or Nick Smith if you're the Miami Heat because those are all-star potential? You have Leonard Miller, who could be, a Lamar Odom type player. Do you take that, or do you take a Chris Murray or a Maxwell Lewis or Colby Jones, thinking that those guys can help you win right now? Because what this team needs right now is front court help and more shooting / two-way players, just depth on this team to help, retool this core that is probably going to undergo changes as the offseason goes. And Karam, we don't know with Cam Whitmore. I've done some light research on Twitter. I'm going to reach out to a scout that actually didn't.
That is just weird to me, man. I don't know what the fuck happened. Something went wrong though. Because we're at 18 now. This guy before the season started was in talks about potentially being the number 1 pick along with Nick Smith. I mean, obviously everybody knew Wemby was most likely the number 1 pick, but Nick Smith and Cam Whitmore were supposed to be the top 2 freshmen in college basketball and the top 2 freshman prospects in college basketball.
Yeah, no, completely.
Both of them are still on the board at 18. If you said that 12 months ago, everyone would have said you're fucking crazy. What are you on, crack? No.
If you're Miami, are you taking a high potential guy, or are you taking the win now guys and Chris Murray, Jaime Jaquez, and Colby Jones, or Maxwell Lewis?
I also think Cam Whitmore is just as much of a win now guy as those guys too. So I don't know. I think I know it sounds like a broken record, but he's still on the board.
I know he's still on the board. And if I was
18, what's up? What did he do? What did he do?
I just texted 2 people, then 2 sources of mine that might have some insight knowledge onto the situation on why Cam Whitmore has fallen so hard.
Did he murder a cat or something? And they saw a video?
I don't know. I mean, who has fallen harder, Cam Whitmore or GG Jackson through the draft process?
GG Jackson has been a gradual, slow decline, though, because we saw he wasn't very good at North Carolina or South Carolina. Fucking wrong school. Fucking
He's so bad I can't even remember the school he played for.
You're so bad I can't remember. GG Jackson was just inefficient and a bad team, though. That team was terrible. It wasn't all his fault, but the thing is, like, his was a gradual decline. Cam Whitmore just was still, as of this morning, besides the report yesterday that said he could slide to 10, this morning,
Still a lottery pick.
still a top 10 pick. Jaime Jaquez at 18? What?
No way. Jaime Jaquez
Oh my God, Miami wants to win now. So yeah, that's a win now guy. Oh my God. Oh,
What is your thoughts on Jaime Jaquez going
So,
right here?
Clearly, there's something going. Clearly, Miami loves themselves some mid-range assassins. Jimmy Butler and Jaime Jaquez. They love mid-range assassins, man, and that's who this guy is. Oh, they said idolized Kobe Bryant growing up was the graphic. I mean,
Yeah, I was
yeah,
there when he said that at the scouting combine.
yeah, exactly. We were there. We saw it.
Right,
Fucking like
Jaime
yeah,
Jaquez. When I
he's a
look
win
at
now
him,
guy.
he played 4 years of college. He's what? At this point, he's 22 years old. He's 6'6", 225 pounds. Look, this is a guy coming out right here. Look, he doesn't have. He's not the most athletic guy.
Poor man's
what he
DeMar
has-
DeRozan.
Poor man's DeMar DeRozan. Look, yes, he's had there is a concern about the lack of quickness, the stiffness of the hips, and there's some real on-ball defensive issues. But this is a guy who
He's a bucket. He's a bucket.
Look. What's going to happen
He's
is
a bucket.
if his shot can come around, he's able to do everything. Okay, that you need as a dude. He could be a 6 man of the year candidate as a guy who can.
Yeah,
You know,
mid-range
yeah.
assassin, walking bucket.
Yeah, and I
You
think
need a guy to hit contested shots. He hits contested shots. Like
I think he's a good pick.
He plays a lot like his teammate, but he's better than his old teammate was, Johnny Juzang. He's better than Johnny Juzang, but like he plays like Johnny Juzang. Off
He's
the
a guy-
dribble mid-range bucket.
Yeah, and I think the thing is that if he can step that shot out to 3-point range,
Yeah,
he's
because he
easily a
wasn't
guy
very
who could
good
average.
in college.
Like, look, he could develop into a more athletic Joe Ingles.
Yeah. Could
Like,
develop
That's what Jaime Jaquez can become, a more athletic Joe Ingles.
very, very surprised that he went off the board here.
Am I wrong? Joe
Wait.
Ingles averaged 9.5 or 9.6
Yeah.
and 6.
I
Like,
am stunned that he went off the board here.
You're stunned that this is where Jaime Jaquez went. Are you not a believer of the Hawk?
No, I'm not a believer. I just figured he'd be in late 20s.
I didn't.
Like,
I
I would've-
actually will admit I did not have Jaime Jaquez as a first round grade. I personally saw him being a guy that would go into maybe
The 30s,
late
early
first.
second.
Yeah, early seconds. is who I
25 to
had.
32.
But Jaime Jaquez comes in. You know, Victor Oladipo's out for the
18.
season. Jaime Jaquez will be able to do what they needed Victor Oladipo to do, and I think Jaime.
You know what I think
You know-
really helped his stock, though? Is when, at the end of the season, when UCLA hit that stretch at the end of the Pac-12 tournament and then the NCAA tournament, and they just lost everybody to injury.
and then
and
Jaime
he-
Jaquez was a fucking dog.
He was a dog. He was a dog, and he got them to where they were. He was a dog last year for them, especially because they battled injuries all season long with a lot of their key contributors. And
I think it's Well-
he's a dog. So that's the best compliment to give him. He's a dog.
He's got a great.
And not
work
everybody is a dog.
No, completely. I completely agree, and it'll
I
definitely be
don't think
interesting.
Brandon Miller is an amazing player, and he's way better than Jaime Jaquez. But Jaime Jaquez is a dog. Brandon Miller is not a dog.
Are you a fan of what he'll like of the idea of Jaime Jaquez coming in and playing minutes for the Heat? Like they've been able to turn guys into good 3-point shooters. So if anybody's going to turn
This
Jaime
is
Jaquez-
this is a very good Heat. This is a very Heat pick. It's a very Heat pick. A guy who was high on the
you think the Warriors
A
would have
guy who
taken
was-
him?
No. I think that this was a guy who the Heat had and nobody else had around them in the 4 or 5 picks in this range around them. That's what I think this is. This is a Heat pick. This is a Pat
Makes
Riley
sense.
pick. Yeah, and Pat Riley knows that Spo can get the most out of Jaime Jaquez more so than other coaches might be able to with their schemes and teams. So I don't mind it. I think it's a good pick.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I want to know where Cam Whitmore's going to go.
Yeah, I know. I'm stunned that Cam Whitmore's still on the board, bro. Imagine if Cam Whitmore falls to the Celtics. Oh my god. Oh my god. Grant Williams sign and trade would happen the next week. Oh man. Oh, that would be so funny.
We definitely would. It's just kind of funny.
I don't think that happens, bro. Warriors pick is in, by the way. See who they pick. Oh, now they're just dragging it out by talking about their Warriors potential tax bill.
Brandon Podazimski.
Pod, my boy. They got used to watching him in Santa Clara in the Bay Area, so they just said, "Fuck it, we're gonna pick him." I think that's what this is. No, I'm kidding. Pod, man, the Jordan Poole replacement.
What if does that mean Dante DiVincenzo's not coming back?
That's exactly what that means. That's a Jordan Poole replacement right there.
What do you mean, Pod? I love Pod, dude. He stays in the Bay Area.
Pod gets to stay in the Bay Area. Wisconsin kids get to stay in the Bay Area. You know who else is a Wisconsin kid that played NBA ball in the Bay Area? Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole.
Did not know that. Where do you go to college?
Jordan Poole went to Michigan. Pod went to
what's up.
Illinois and then Santa Clara.
Wow, good for the
Pod,
Warriors.
my boy.
They didn't take too long. They were ready to take Pod.
They knew that Pod was the guy. That is a Warriors pick. Pod was higher on their board than everyone else's. Oh, man. Pod, and guess who is still on the board? Cam Whitmore.
Whitmore. At 20.
How?
The Rockets have to take it.
The Rockets. This is an Ime pick. This is an Ime pick. They have
He
to
sees Jason Tatum. He sees Jason Tatum.
The Rockets could have had him at 4. The Rockets could have had him at 4, and people wouldn't have been mad. But now they're going to take him at 20, dude. Oh my god, that is insane.
I know, but it's crazy to think about how this is just all played out.
I know. We got Jaime Jaquez going 18th to the fucking Heat. What the fuck is this?
Would have you thought that if someone had asked you pre-draft?
No. I would have said you're on crack. And if someone said Cam Whitmore would go
The,
after
the Houston Rockets are strongly considering ending Cam Whitmore's slide at number 20. The decision looms there.
It's with Ime Udoka. That's the man who has all the power.
Come on,
right now.
Ime Udoka sees Cam Whitmore and goes, "You can be Jason."
That's Jalen
Tatum."
Brown. That's Jalen Brown.
Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum's a skinny guy. Come on now. Cam Whitmore's big. Jalen Brown's
Yeah.
bigger than Jason Tatum. But they're also
You're
both
right.
not that big. None of them are as big as Cam Whitmore.
Cam Whitmore's thick as fuck.
Yeah, I know. He's a thick boy.
This is wild. So I guess James Harden's staying in Philadelphia.
Well, yeah. This is just an Ime pick. Pod, man.
Damn, I wish Pod went or is Andre Jackson
Jordan
gonna get
Poole.
scooped up?
Andre Jackson is probably still a second-round pick.
Cam Whitmore.
Then again, Jaime Jaquez went 18th.
Cam Whitmore is heading to Houston.
Finally. Oh, my God.
It ends. It ends. The pain and suffering of Cam Whitmore's.
Of Cam Whitmore's family and Villanova fans everywhere is finally ended. Cam Whitmore is the Houston Rockets.
Cam Whitmore. could
Houston
probably-
team needs, according to Bobby Marks, starting point guard and player development. Hey, Steven Silas is not there anymore, so
Yeah, hopefully that's what's gonna fix everything.
imagine if that is what fixes everything, and like Alperen Şengün starts averaging like 28 and 5, and Jalen Green averages like 28 a night, and Jabari Smith is a fucking like 20 and 10 guy too. Imagine if that's really what the problem was, and Ime Udoka comes in and just fucking waves his magic wand, and all these guys just become all stars.
All right, let's talk about Cam Whitmore. This is a guy who has pure upside, in my opinion. This guy has the potential to be a 25 points per game scorer. Okay, I know that sounds audacious.
That's a little. That's
this. No, stop. You should have been taking top 5. Yes, the passing and decision
top 10.
aren't there. No, shut up. Let me finish my rant, you goddamn bitch. So the passing and decision making aren't there. But fuck that. The athletic upside is insane. He plays above the rim. Okay, this guy excels in transition. This is a guy who literally will feast on open driving lanes. All right, look at Benedict Mathurin. That's his floor. What Benedict Mathurin did as a rookie. Okay, but I think when you put him here in the Rockets, where he's going to have some shooters and hopefully some floor spacers around him, I don't typically fall for guys who do have real flaws like him because I know, the stagnation on the offense is there. But the part is that Whitmore wanted to play for Villanova, for a team that moves the ball and plays unselfishly, shows a lot because he's a selfless player and wants to win. So I do believe in him. Yes, I know.
They didn't do a whole lot of winning this past year.
I know his closeouts are messy. He gets driven on a lot. He will be as good as he wants to be on defense, but there's some real flaws that he needs to improve on. But I do think there is some real upside there. While Whitmore, he can be a good on-ball defender with the disruptive hands. He averaged 1.5 steals. He's got some quickness. He can switch 1 through 4, hopefully. This is going to be a guy who's going to have the ability to hit the relocation threes when someone closes on him heavily, combine the pull-up, flashes with the catch and shoot threat. That guy is going to be good because when his shot has the good
Rudy
rhythm.
Gay. His ceiling is Rudy Gay.
Maybe. I like this pick. I like Cam Whitmore going
his
here.
Ceiling is Rudy Gay, like a 20-point per game, stocky wing scorer. Not 25, like 20. His ceiling is Rudy Gay, and that's great. That's a phenomenal career. I don't think he was a top 5 guy on my big board. Definitely not. But I saw the fucking the report yesterday that said he would slide to 10, and I was like, that is fine. The Cam Whitmore, there's no way he doesn't go outside the top 10, is what we thought. But what were you saying?
I just got told by a scout why Cam fell so hard, asking why Cam Whitmore fell. Quote, because you can't bully people in the league like he does in school.
There you go. That's what I was saying yesterday and this morning. His frame is developed. He is not going to add more weight and be able to play as he normally plays. His frame is developed.
Yeah, okay. No, physically.
Physically, he's not going to develop anymore. And he's already physically ready, which is fine. But there's the reason why you see a guy like Taylor Hendricks, who
What about Kenneth Lofton? Kenneth Lofton told he was too fat and was going to be bullied. Kenneth
Lofton is one of the most fundamentally sound players, bro. You didn't watch him in college, I can tell.
I watched some of his tape.
Yeah, I watched that dude in college because I bet on Degenerate Basketball. That dude was one of the most fundamentally sound big guys in the country. That dude was putting up – so another thing is, who was the leading – so the tournament that Cam Whitmore was the that they played on the U18 team together or whatever, and they got 1 gold or whatever, or U19 or whatever. Do you know who was the leading scorer for the U.S. at that tournament?
Who?
Kenny Lofton.
No way.
Kenny Lofton, yes. Kenny Lofton. So, but Cam Whitmore, great pick for Houston at 20. You can't pass up on that value. And if there's any coach who can get Cam Whitmore to clean up his defensive, his defensive instincts and get him to not just play bully ball, it's Ime Udoka. So it's just there's a certain point. Even me, who's been a Cam Whitmore detractor all draft process pretty much, actually, you can't pass him up here. I'm stunned that he was even available now when the other guys took other players in front of him. But now the Rockets take a guy who, like I said earlier, nobody would have gave them shit if they took him at 4, and now they take him at 20.
No, I definitely think it's going to
be a great situation for him, too, in terms of getting the best out of him.
I think it's definitely going to be interesting to see, what Cam Whitmore looks after a training camp with Ime Udoka.
Yeah.
But at 21, who goes here?
So Leonard Miller's still on the board. Dariq Whitehead is still on the board. Nick Smith is still on the board.
This is the Warriors, right?
No, this is the Nets.
No, my apology. Did I just say the Warriors because the Warriors took the Nets?
Pod. All right.
I think it's Nick Smith it's Nick Smith and Leonard Miller.
The Nets have the back-to-back picks here, so they can go
Nick Smith and Leonard Miller.
Nick Smith, Leonard Miller, Dariq Whitehead, or Leonard Miller.
I think they take one high-risk, high-reward guy and one safe, win-now guy. I think that's what you got to do in this situation. You got to take the guy. One guy who might be a little risky, like a Nick Smith, Leonard Miller, or Dariq Whitehead. or even a GG, even though I'm not a fan of GG. And then you take with your other pick, you take maybe a safer guy like Colby Jones, Maxwell Lewis, Marcus Sasser, or something like that. I definitely think it's interesting how this draft has played out because I just didn't think this is where we would be at pick, 21 with, Cam Whitmore being the last pick taken. That was definitely surprising to say the least. And I wonder what we'll see next. But I think so far, people have gotten good value out of the draft. And I think the most surprising pick for me, Derek Lively, I guess, going that high. Yeah. I didn't know he was going to be a lottery pick. But Nick Smith being here still surprises me, but doesn't surprise me at the same time. I honestly, because we're starting to fall into the part where it's like a crapshoot where you are at this part of the draft, because you're drafting at this point where it's like by positional need, by team needs. You're not drafting unless you're a team with multiple picks. You're not necessarily.
Any word on the Nets pick?
No word on the Nets pick yet.
Or one of the Nets picks. I mean, they still have fucking two. So
yeah, nothing
the
on the Nets.
fucking Brooklyn Nets. Oh my god. Hey, we can all agree. You know who the big winners of this draft are? The big winners of this draft. Your team.
Orlando?
No, the Wizards. No, they're not the big winner of the draft. They're the winner. They're the winner of today though because they fucking somehow managed to trade Chris Paul and get Jordan Poole back and picks.
I think it's definitely.
I mean, it's the Spurs, but that's a cop out. So
the Spurs had a great draft. I don't know. I think
the Rockets. It's the fucking Rockets, bro.
I think the Thunder did good. I think the Jazz
Rockets. The Rockets.
Jazz got Taylor Hendrickson and Keontae George.
Yeah, but the Rockets got 2 top 5 talents in the draft at 4 and 20. So it's the Rockets. The Rockets got Amen, and they got both Amen and Cam. And if you said that the Rockets would get both Amen and Cam at 420, like at 4 and at 20 before the draft started,
you love 420.
If you said it at 420 today, and if we said that at 420 today that the Rockets would get both Cam and fucking Amen with those 2 picks, you would have said they won the draft. So the Rockets 100% won the draft.
Yeah, I mean they got.
I'm a Cam hater, and I still think they won.
They got great value for what they were, where they drafted. They didn't even have to move.
They didn't have to trade, bro. But he fell into their lap.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part is that he did fall into their lap.
Every single fucking team had the chance to take him, and they all passed.
1 sec.
Holy shit. Cam fucking Whitmore. Wow.
No, I think the crazy part is Cam going there, and we just got news that Brooklyn's taking Noah Clowney. What are your thoughts there? They now have Deron Sharp.
So in terms of a front court guy, I think he's probably better to the team right now than Leonard Miller. And clearly this team is not trying to openly lose games. So they don't have time to they don't want to take a project. So Noah Clowney,
what do you think?
Is there. Noah Clowney's defensive versatility is really nice.
Now that they took Noah Clowney, that means I don't think they're going to take Leonard Miller. Do you think they take Nick Smith with the next pick?
This is where they go. Nick Smith or who's still on the board right now? I guess Dariq Whitehead's still on the board too, but I think Nick Smith would make sense here.
They just took because we'll agree that Noah Clowney was the safe pick, and if they don't trade,
then Nick Smith is the high upside guy at this spot, and Nick Smith
he's the highest upside guy that in terms
of he's safer than Leonard Miller, and he has more upside. And Noah Clowney is also safer than Leonard Miller, and so what is it? Bobby Marks' team need says rebounding and 3-point shooting. Well, Noah Clowney, wait, You just said the Nets took Noah Clowney. No, they didn't. Oh wait, no, that's okay. Never mind. They did. They're just. I thought for a second it said Andre Jackson, but no, they're just doing a thing about Andre Jackson. Now.
Yeah, no, Noah Clowney just got taken.
Noah Clowney to the Nets. Never mind. They're just doing a bit on Andre Jackson because they're saying he's a winning.
But the Nets are back on the clock, and if they just took themselves Noah Clowney, then they're gonna. I think that they don't take another.
Why did they just show? Oh, they showed Andre Jackson because UConn's coach joined the desk.
Who has the highest? Nick Smith is the guy who has all-star potential left in the draft.
Yeah. Oh, 100% in the draft. That has all that's that could like of all the guys that most likely turn out to an all-star. Yeah.
Left. Nick Smith.
It's Nick Smith.
It's Nick Smith.
Or like, yeah, it's Nick Smith or like I don't know James Nanji, but like
no,
they
it's
wouldn't-
Gigi.
they wouldn't-
The three guys left in the draft with the highest potential is Nick Smith, Leonard Miller, and Gigi Jackson.
Yeah, but they're not good. Yeah, I'll give you that. James Nanji's up there though.
Well, what would James Nanji's ceiling be?
I don't know, bro. Probably not better.
I love James Nanji, but his
Probably not
ceiling-
better. Probably not better than Leonard.
He's
Miller.
Clint Capella.
Yeah, because his like offensive game as a whole is not. It's not.
He's just
it's
Clint
probably-
Capella. He's
yeah.
really good, but like at best, like Clint Capella. Or
So like, yeah, probably it's Nick Smith is the highest upside left. That's the guy they should go with here. But like,
Nick Smith could be like legit if everything fell correctly, all-star, all-NBA potential. Like if,
Yeah.
big if,
like
big
this dude played.
if.
This dude got hurt 3 times last year. Hurt both his knees. Like, got fucked. Like he got screwed last year. He got screwed. Nobody had a tougher time. Nobody had a more raw deal than Nick Smith. He got screwed last year with his health, and he never really was able to show. He only showed flashes, but he was never really able to show like the potential that he showed in college, or not in college, in high school. And when he was dunking on Arkansas
Top five,
frat bros,
yeah,
when he was dunking on Arkansas frat bros in Twitter videos.
yeah. He was a top 5 recruit.
Yeah, top 5 recruit. Everyone said he was going to be a top 5 pick, just like
Yeah.
Cam Whitmore.
He was literally supposed to, yeah. And the fact that he's still here, like you gotta take him if you're the Nets.
Yeah,
you,
you
just
gotta take him.
you took a safe pick in Noah Clowney.
Yeah, now you have back-to-back picks for this reason. You could have taken Leonard Miller, but you chose not to. You made the right decision, I would say, and they took Noah.
I would agree.
And now they can go with fucking Nick Smith. I mean, I guess like if they wanted to go a pro-ready guy, they'd go Chris Murray, but I don't know. Nick Smith is pro-ready too, though. At least as much as Chris Murray is, I don't think. That's the thing is like pro-ready guys, like that's a term that's thrown out a lot for like late first-round picks that aren't projects, but like the guys at the top of the draft are pro-ready. They're just also high-potential guys, you know?
No, completely.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I guess like Nick Smith is pro-ready too.
What's that little squeaking?
The fan, bro.
You have a fan on? You
Yeah.
hot, buddy?
Yeah, it's fucking summer, dude.
I'm actually
Yeah.
freezing at my dad's house.
Yeah.
But
Wow,
Yeah.
man. How about that shit, huh?
this draft
Damn,
has
Whitmore
like,
to 20. That's wild, man. That is wild. I'm trying to
Also-
think of the last. When was the last time that like a top 5 consensus?
how hard is this decision for the Nets? They have to be trading the pick because if you have back-to-back picks and you were planning on using them, you would have.
You would have already done it by now. So, like, let's think about this. Has there ever been a consensus top 5 guy fall this far?
DeJounte Murray.
Dejounte Murray wasn't the top 5 guy like Cam Whitmore was, though, bro.
I know
He was
DeJounte was DeJounte. Oh wait, Gary Trent Jr. fell to the second.
Yeah, but Gary Trent Jr. wasn't a top 5 guy like Cam Whitmore was, though. But he did fall to the second, though. But he wasn't like a top 5 prospect.
He was
Like,
he was a 5-star recruit though.
that doesn't matter. Cam Whitmore was that, and he was a consensus top 5 prospect all draft. And he fucking
What?
fell.
Eric White, baby.
What'd
What
you say?
up? No, I was Eric White. Just hopped in. NBA college basketball recruits. Let's look over the last few years. Who has fallen as hard as Cam Whitmore?
Yeah.
and Nick Smith. So for 2022, the top guys were Nick Smith was number 1. Okay,
Yeah.
with Dariq Whitehead 2, Derek Lively 3, Gigi Jackson 6, and Cam Whitmore was actually 13. So Cam Whitmore didn't.
He was
fall at all.
13, but he was still like a top 5 prospect like all year.
Chet was 1 in 2021
He
with
didn't
Paula being
fall.
2. Let's go to 2020. We're going to 2020 right now, which says 2020's
I guess
top
Quentin
recruits.
Grimes was supposed to be a top 10 pick.
James Wiseman.
Quentin Grimes, he was supposed to be
Yeah.
a top 10 pick, and he ended up transferring to a different school before he got
Bull was the last guy.
Bol was the last guy. Bol fell hard. Bol was supposed to be a
Bull
fucking
fell hard. Yeah, top 5 recruits.
He got hurt. He got hurt in December, and his season was ended. And apparently,
Yeah.
I guess he didn't have.
Michael Porter was another guy who fell.
But Michael Porter had spinal disc surgery or something.
Trayvon Duval.
Michael Porter had massive.
Mitchell Robinson. And Trayvon Duval.
But Mitchell Robinson wasn't a guy who was big on draft boards.
He was
because he went Michael Porter Jr. was that guy, and he fell, but he still was a top 20 pick. But he fell because he got injured and he had to have spinal surgery or something in the offseason, and he didn't play.
The other one is besides Bull Scal Labissiere.
Yeah, he was picked 20 something. He fell hard.
He was the number 1 recruit.
He was supposed to be a top 5 pick. Yeah, he was supposed to be a top 5 pick. But this is also recruits. This isn't mock draft guys. Cam Whitmore, he was in terms of consensus mock drafts, he was supposed to be in the top 5 all year.
Yeah, no, completely. But Chris Murray, should the Cavs trade up for Chris Murray?
What are they going to give up? I don't really think the Cavs need to do anything.
And Dariq Whitehead has been taking 22nd.
Dariq Whitehead, another high upside guy like Nick Smith.
Well, this was a guy that
Injuries.
you and I had mocked multiple times, saying perfect spot for Dariq Whitehead.
Yeah, we had him going in his back-to-back range.
He learned from Jock Vaughn, Mikal Bridges, Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Johnson.
Yeah, high upside. Had the foot surgery, obviously. He's supposed to be back to camp. He had foot injuries earlier in the year. He battled injuries a lot for Duke. He didn't show the Dariq Whitehead that we know, but elite 3-and-D potential. It's a good pick for the Nets. I mean, I think Nick Smith would have been better here.
It's low risk, high upside at this point.
Yeah, Nick Smith would have been the same.
Worst comes to worst.
Maybe they feel better about Dariq Whitehead's injury history than they do Nick Smith's.
Dariq Whitehead, worst comes to worst, becomes Dwayne Bacon.
Yeah, I think they feel better about his injury history than Nick Smith's, I guess.
But if Dariq Whitehead works out, we're looking at potentially OG Anunoby.
Yeah.
So
a less buff OG Anunoby.
Yeah. So that leaves our man Leonard Miller at the top of our board.
Portland is still on the clock. And Portland, who is Portland going to go with here?
Eric White really wants Chris Murray. He says he'd rather have him over Okoro or Jetty.
I mean, Okoro isn't really much offensively, so I kind of get it.
See, Okoro was supposed to be Andre Iguodala.
And he sucks on offense. Great defender, though.
Oh, Josh Okogie was too.
Yeah, great defender.
Josh Okogie averaged 16 for a month and a half.
Okay, but Josh Okogie was not as highly thought of as Isaac Okoro was coming into the draft.
Yeah, wasn't Okogie a late lottery?
Yeah, Okogie was in 20s, dude.
Was he actually 20s?
Yeah, Okogie didn't go that high.
I knew he wasn't
20th.
Okoro was what, 4th or 5th?
Okoro was 6th or 7th. Isaac Okoro was he was picked
out of Auburn. He was
fifth,
one of the first
fifth,
good
fifth.
He was one of the first Auburn recruits.
I mean Charles Barkley, but recent times.
Yeah, recent times, because since then they've had like every year one good guy come out.
Yeah, it's like Auburn has one guy that goes pro, and they're like, all right, this guy can be good. Except for this year.
Yeah, last year they had a guy, two
Except for
guys
this
last
year.
year.
Yeah, except for this year.
Didn't have a good recruiting class, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I right now have Chris Murray going at Sacramento at this point. Is Sacramento on the clock?
What?
Sacramento's on
No,
the
Portland
clock.
is. Portland is on the clock.
Ooh, Portland takes right here. Well, they're going young, so they take Leonard Miller or Nick Smith. I think Leonard Miller because it fits better with the Anthony Simon, Scoot Henderson, Shaden Sharp future.
Yeah, the young core. Or the young core, whatever. I think it works. I'll give him that. I think it's a good fit.
Yeah, I think it works. I mean, at this point, Dame's gone, right?
Yeah, at this point, well, maybe not. But I don't know, man. Dame, it's not looking as likely that Dame stays.
How upsetting is that?
That's pretty sad, man, especially for the Portland fans. But, like, especially for Dame because they couldn't win with Dame.
No, I agree.
Maybe they keep Dame though, and they just have a Dame. Maybe they wait on Scoot to develop, and they hope Scoot develops quickly. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, nor do I. I think it just hasn't been ideal for the team in terms of like, hey, how do we maximize this? And we just heard Chris Murray's going to the Portland Trailblazers.
Chris Murray, man.
Which is kind of weird. So that's
a keep Dame pick right there. Is that bad?
That's a keep Dame pick.
That's a keep Dame pick. That's a keep Dame pick.
It's a keep Dame pick.
That's exactly what that is.
Yeah,
what that is.
That's where it gets interesting. Is like, okay, so you guys just did a pick that is a win now pick.
Yeah,
he was the fourth best player left on our big board.
That's Athletics big board, but yeah.
Athletics big board. But in terms of the big board we're using, our big board we're using.
Yeah, that's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. That's a keep, like we said, keep Dame pick. That is how you keep Dame.
What if Dame wants to play with Scoot and they trade Anthony Simons? I'm surprised by the Chris Murray.
That Chris Murray pick, definitely.
Eric White says still.
Dame is like, give me a veteran. Not a veteran. Give me a guy who's like ready to help out my veterans.
Eric White. If Chris Murray hadn't just been taken right here, Sacramento would have taken him. They would have had him.
Yeah.
Murray Bros replaced.
Cavs weren't going to get the chance to take him. Sorry.
Cavs don't even have a pick.
I know. They can't trade back up. I hate to break it to you, man, but unfortunately, you won't get your guy. But Chris Murray to the Blazers. Damian Lillard may be staying for the next season in Portland.
Yeah, I think that pick, Chris Murray, is it.
That's a Dame. They probably asked Dame who he thought they should pick at this spot.
Yeah, because now you can have a starting lineup of Scoot Henderson, Dame, Chris Murray, Jeremy Grant, and Josip Nurkic.
And Anthony Simons off the bench?
Yeah, 6-man.
Unless he gets traded.
And Sharp off the bench.
Well, yeah, we already knew that, though. Sharp's not ready for a starting role. Maybe he is, though.
We don't know.
Unless he breaks out this year.
How pissed do you think Dame is?
That they got Chris Murray?
Nah, just how this has turned out.
What do you mean pissed? I don't think he expected much different from this draft.
You think he's known?
He's probably known like all day today.
That they were taking Scoot?
Because they couldn't find a trade partner. And I think they told him that since we couldn't find a trade partner before the day, we're gonna take Scoot if he's available, and if not, we're gonna take Brandon Miller. And Dave was probably like, okay. But then Scoot was available, so they're like, all right, Scoot, that's our guy. And then they probably like low key, before they made this Chris Murray pick, they probably called Dame and they probably asked him his opinions on a few of the guys they were probably dangling in this spot.
Yeah.
Because you know that they've been working with Dame this process. because like Dame is Portland at this point.
I wonder, how that decision process went down.
Like Dame is Portland at this point. That is the guy. Like if they'll do everything they can to keep him.
Oh, of course. I mean,
To a fault, they'll do everything they can to keep him. It's Dame.
last 6 picks, who do you predict going? I think Leonard Miller.
Well, I guess I'll stay for the rest of the first round because the Celtics pick so late in the round. So
What are you, 25?
yeah, 25.
We got Leonard Miller, Brees Sensabaugh, Nick Smith, Rain Rupert, Maxwell Lewis. I don't know who else at this point would go. It's been like a crapshoot, to say the least.
Yeah, it's been a crapshoot, and especially at this
Kings
point.
are trading Rashawn Holmes in the 24th pick to Dallas, and Dallas is selecting Omax.
What? What? Oh my God! They're taking the guy with the most French Canadian name possible at this pick.
Olivier Maximus Prosper, the guy who
Shout out to my French Canadian. Shout out to my fellow French Canadians out there.
So what is your initial thoughts right here? They get Rashawn Holmes. So far in this draft, they drafted themselves their front court is now Derek Lively and Rashawn Holmes. All right.
The Kings. Oh,
And they
talking
get
Mavericks. You're talking about the Mavericks.
Yes. Yeah, Mavericks now.
Yeah,
Derek Lively, Rashawn Holmes, Omax is out there now. They're
So,
bringing
like,
back
what did the
Kyrie.
Kings-
They got
like,
Josh
what did-
Green.
What did the Kings get? The Kings traded this pick to Dallas for what?
So far, let me
You
give
said
you
the
one
Kings traded this pick and Rashawn.
Kings
Holmes
are
to
sending
Dallas.
Holmes into the trade player exception created with the OKC trade. So basically, they just absorb his contract, and I think the Kings were basically packaging, basically for nothing. It seems like Kings are packaging the 24th pick and to move Rashawn Holmes' contract for the trade exception.
Oh my God! Oh.
So that's what seems like is happening right here.
So this was Dallas's use of that exception.
So they got Rashawn Holmes, who
So now the Kings have an exception, which means the Kings can now be in the trade market to add an actual veteran.
well, it says
player.
Kings are sending Holmes into the traded player exception created with the OKC trade, which means that
Yeah, you're
seems
talking about
as
the
if-
exception. You're talking about the exception that Dallas has from the.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Sacramento
Okay.
selecting Olivier Maximus Prosper, who's a great combo forward. He can play power forward or small forward.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting as I wonder where, what else is. I think that's what it is. I think the Kings saw it as we weren't going to draft. We didn't like anyone available here, so we wanted to create cap space and get off of Holmes' contract, who was a negative trade asset potentially. So we package it now. The
I guess they
Mavericks-
got up. They just had to. They had. It looks like they just needed to do this to get off Rashawn Holmes' contract.
Yeah, and now the Mavericks have a center rotation of Derek Lively, JaVale McGee, and
Like, it sucks. It sucks that they basically just gave up the 24th pick for nothing. Well, not for nothing, but like basically for nothing. The Mavs essentially get Rashawn Holmes not for free because they're getting Rashawn Holmes with the exception. But
Yeah.
Rashawn Holmes' salary will not affect Dallas's ability to sign more players. So that is
Exactly.
like what? Who is this saying that like? Oh, yeah. Somebody just said Shambles replying to Kings Muse replying to Woj's tweet. Yeah, no, that's a good trade for the Kings.
Yeah, and
It's a good trade
Dallas-
for both sides. Dallas basically
Dallas-
gets John Holmes' salary for free, and
Yeah,
they also get Omax. Who's
And if they can
realistically gonna
revive-
play more, yeah, and if they can revive Rashawn Holmes, they revive Rashawn Holmes. Great, cool.
and they have a 3-man center rotation.
Yeah, cool, great. If they don't, whatever. He's not going to hurt their cap. He's not going to hurt their ability to sign guys. The Kings,
Exactly.
yeah, it sucks. You gave up 24, but like, let's be real here. Who were the Kings going to actually take at 24 that could realistically make them better than the 3 seed last year? Nobody. So they just needed to get rid of Rashawn Holmes' contract so they can go out and get a veteran and get some vets in the free agent market. I think it works out for both sides.
No, I agree, and it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out because I think
Freeing up
really,
cap space for Vasilije Micic.
the Mavericks.
No, the Kings.
Nah, Mavs are gonna get Vasilije.
You think the Kings are out? You think Mike Brown's out?
I mean, Mike Brown would love Vasilije, but hey, maybe this is what you're saying. I mean, it would make sense.
Vasilije, you're saying Vasilije doesn't want to go to live in Sacramento, is what you're saying.
I think you'd rather play with the guy from.
You think Vasilije would rather live in the state with no income tax? That's what you're saying.
You'd rather play with Luka Doncic. I mean,
know,
there is Sabonis.
Yeah.
But, like, if you were told you'd rather play with Sabonis or Doncic, I mean, they also still have half the trade exception to use. If
Oh,
needed.
yeah, they do. But they wouldn't be able to use that on Vasilije Micic's contract.
No, because I guess it would be a sign and trade. No, it would be just for the draft rights, and then they would have to sign him.
Yeah. Like, they wouldn't be able to use it. You wouldn't be able to use it for Vasilije Micic's contract because they have to use it on a salary that is less or equal to the exception.
Okay.
Something like that. Something like that. I'm not sure. I think that's how it works. So that's why they went and that's why Rashawn Holmes is part of it. Because they still have, because the exception was what? How much was it? Like $7 million or was it $17 million exception or something?
Yeah.
Or $7 million?
17 or 8. Yeah, and Rashawn Holmes is like 11.
Yeah, so they can't use 17 of that to cover part of Dame's salary.
Yeah.
But they can use it for Rashawn Holmes's and still have $7 million left over to get some other cheaper guy or something.
No, it makes sense, and it's a good move.
Yeah, like getting Rashawn Holmes' salary for free, not terrible.
And if anything, his last good season, he was like a double machine.
Yeah, like Boston pick is in, or Grizzlies pick is in for Boston, I guess.
Yeah, which is probably going to be, is it Andre Jackson like you wanted?
Well, Andre Jackson's might still be available at 35. I don't know though. I want
the Bucks acquired the 36th pick from the Magic, by the way, and the Pistons are acquiring the 25th pick from the Celtics, and the Pistons have drafted. And all right, so the Celtics the Pistons are acquiring the 25th pick from the Celtics, drafting Marcus Sasser, and they're trading to Detroit for pick 31.
Marcus Sasser?
Marcus Sasser's on the Pistons, and now Boston has the 31st.
Okay, Andre Jackson, you are a Boston Celtic. 31, you said?
Yeah.
Andre Jackson, you are a Boston Celtic. All right, so the Celtics aren't picking in the first round. I think I'm about to get out of here.
You're not going to do the last 5 picks, buddy?
No, I don't care anymore.
Why? Come on.
For the last 5 picks. All right, man. Well, I was hoping the Celtics would get a pick in the first round, but they're not. So, well, it was a good stream. 3 fucking hours later. Jesus fucking Christ, I hate the draft. But this is why I don't watch the draft. This is why I haven't watched the draft since 2017. Because we picked early, and I can watch it and be done. Now I have to sit through all these shitty teams that are going nowhere, trying to pick players to save their franchises. Like, I don't give a shit who the Wizards pick. They're going to be bad.
No,
I don't give a shit I don't give a shit who the Magic pick. They're cursed to be a terrible team. Like, I don't know. I know Minnesota doesn't have any picks, but I don't give a shit who the Timberwolves pick because they're cursed to be a terrible team.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you.
There's something in common with those 3 teams. I can't quite put my finger on it, though.
So what are you more shocked by, though? Marcus Sasser now on the Pistons?
Marcus Sasser at 25 is a little surprising.
Huh?
Marcus Sasser at 25 is a little surprising.
Yeah, no, I mean, Marcus Sasser, I thought he had fallen in the draft process, but
I guess not.
I didn't know the Pistons needed another guard.
They definitely didn't, but I guess they felt they did. So, all right.
I think Nico Harrison did a good job to close up the draft, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not going to say that the Pistons didn't. Pistons had a good draft.
The Pistons did have a good draft. They got themselves Asar Thompson, and they also got themselves Marcus Sasser now.
Yeah, like, I'll give them that. That's a good draft.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. I think they did a really good job, and they're going to definitely be. I still think they could be a playing team. Orlando Magic and Detroit Pistons round 2 of us thinking that they could be playing teams.
Well, I don't think the Pistons can be.
I think
Orlando. And I didn't think the Magic could be last year.
You have no
Magic,
faith.
What I will say, though, the Magic, if the Magic could play the Boston Celtics every single game, they would go 82-0. So I will say that.
Dude, we swept y'all ass.
But what'd you say? You said Nico Harrison had a good draft?
Yeah, I mean the Mavs.
Yeah, they had a good draft.
Rashawn Holmes, Derek Lively, JaVale McGee, Maxi Kleba, front court.
That rotation. They got Derek Lively. They still have a little bit.
I'm just curious, why did the Pistons want Marcus Sasser if they already have Killian Hayes?
Killian Hayes might be gone.
You think?
Maybe.
I mean, he says he wants to stay in Detroit.
Or they don't see Killian Hayes as a point guard.
What do you think he is, a wing?
I don't know.
I think it's definitely interesting how it's all played out so far this draft.
Yeah, maybe they just don't see Killian Hayes as a point guard.
Yeah,
maybe they see him as Jaden Ivey's backup at the 2.
So your Celtics,
whatever. I'll stay for the rest of the draft. There's like 5 more picks. Whatever, bro.
The Celtics will get the number 31 pick and future second-round picks to the Pistons.
Okay, so we're just stockpiling some assets that we traded away.
Yeah, are you upset with that?
Not really. I mean, I didn't really know who we could take here that would help us that we wouldn't be able to get at 31. Really, Andre Jackson just makes sense as a Celtics pick, and they're still probably going to be able to get him at 31.
I feel like a few of these mock drafts, we got this stuff right. Okay.
Besides, like Cam Whitmore, that we were way off. That's like Cam Whitmore, which we were way off on.
I know, but like a few of these, we had like good guesses. Like if we go back to our mocks.
Yeah, I think we're pretty close.
Yeah, I think the later half of the draft, we just got screwed over because like how things just snowballed.
We didn't know fucking Cam Whitmore was going to fall to 20, and like we had no way of knowing that. Nobody knew that.
No, completely not.
Nobody fucking knew that. But that's the beauty of the fucking draft, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I forgot to talk about with you. We talk about right now, Warriors, Jordan Poole trade for Chris Paul. Chris Paul giving them, cap flexibility / because it opens up cap room because his contract expires after the season, and then it gives them a guy that can let Curry sit and run the offense, or run lineups where Curry's the shooting guard, Klay Thompson's the small forward, Draymond's the power forward, and Kevon Looney's the center, and Chris Paul's the point guard. But then for the Wizards, I've said it, he's a building block, Jordan Poole, with Ryan Rollins. I don't really care for Ryan Rollins, but Jordan Poole's a building block because what he does is he's like Eric Gordon from back in the day when the first Chris Paul trade, where Eric Gordon was like for 5 years this building block where it kind of enticed guys to be willing to team up with him, or for like the Wizards to draft guys that Jordan Poole could complement. So if like the Wizards get the number 1 pick and they want to draft somebody, they're like, okay, we're going to draft this guy because he complements Jordan Poole really well. So
yeah,
or Jordan
if it doesn't
Poole,
work out
or
5 years, tradable.
Yeah.
Tradable. When that big contract is about to run up, and he's not going to get a second not max contract, but he's not going to get a contract as big for his next one. If it doesn't work out, tradable.
Or even if they extend him, and on the last year of that big deal, where his next deal drops off a shit ton of money, a team could want to trade for him because they're like, oh, what?
I said he becomes super tradable, just like you said about Eric Gordon.
Yep.
Eric Gordon became a super tradable.
Don't you agree that like that's a really good comparison? That like he's basically Eric Gordon.
Ryan Rollins is just filler, so
Huh?
Like Ryan Rollins is just filler. But
Yeah, Ryan
Jordan
Rollins.
Poole-
Jordan Poole is literally Eric Gordon, like in the first Chris Paul trade when Chris Paul was sent from the
Yeah.
Hornets to the Clippers. Eric Gordon is like Jordan Poole now, a building block where like you're not gonna say he's a franchise like face of the franchise generational player, but
when it didn't
not-
work out in New Orleans, they flipped him and Ryan Anderson to Houston and actually got a good return out of it. So,
yeah. And in that case, you could see in the similar vein that and then you can go draft guys that Jordan Poole would work well with.
I'm proud of the Wizards for embracing the rebuild, but also still managing to keep assets in the rebuild.
Yeah. So Ben
Like
Shepherd,
Jordan Poole is good enough. Jordan Poole is a good enough of a player that the Wizards aren't going to be unwatchable.
yeah, and it's also
We're not going to be watching the Steven Silas Bobcats or the.
and there's a
Hurley
possibility where he develops into an actual consistent all-star.
Mhm.
Where like again, best case scenario, he becomes an actual franchise cornerstone. Most likely scenario, he's Eric Gordon, where over the next 5 years, he just develops as more consistent and efficient, borderline
Ben
all-star.
Shepherd at 26.
Yeah, I just told you that.
I didn't hear it because I was a good up.
So Ben Shepherd was a guy that I wasn't too crazy in the pre-draft process, but he was a guy that I had recently seen fly up draft boards as a guy that a lot
As a
of people
sniper at
like.
Belmont.
Yeah, you watched Belmont Bats.
Yeah, like Ben Shepherd was the team. Like they were a good team. They had.
He was a dog in the combine. I loved what we saw.
Yeah, like he averaged like 19 a game. He's like a 40% 3-point shooter. Like just shooting.
He's 21. He's 21. He played in the
Yeah.
Ohio Valley Conference
He played, I think, 3 years at Belmont.
4 years and got better every single
He was
year.
just young. He was just young. He got better every single year. He's a
Nice.
young 4-year player.
6'5". And
Prototypical size for a 2 guard.
yeah,
He can shoot.
he has a near 6'8" wingspan. He's perfect for a 3-and-D wing. He's
Yeah.
a guy who's got a little bit more bounce off the wing, and he's a smart defender. And personally, I think he's a guy who has enough skill to be a useful NBA player. I think he might have been the guy that I compared to Jeremy Lamb. He's a guy who can knock down, shots, has some ball skill, and good defensive instincts.
Not as athletic as Jeremy Lamb, but
But like he has the physical contact you want. I think if everything goes well, like,
yeah, like
I don't
he's not gonna punch it on you like Jeremy Lamb could, but he's still
No.
really,
he's not going to be the guy who's going to attack or try to get to the rim as a driver. But I think the shooting and
he will cut.
basketball,
He'll cut and he'll make great cuts.
yeah, and his shooting and his natural basketball feel. That combination is exactly what teams are looking for in role players, and I think that's what he is.
And if he has a
Yeah.
mismatch, he has the capability to attack the mismatch and get to the basket. Like it's not like this dude like can't.
Offensively, I think he's very similar to Quinn Grimes.
Yeah,
He's a very similar player.
Better shooter. Worse off the dribble. Worse slider.
Nick Smith Jr. has finally stopped sliding. Nick Smith Jr. has been taken by the Charlotte Hornets.
This is a high upside pick to maybe play next to Melo if everything works out.
Yeah, and they don't get Scoot Henderson, but they get themselves Nick Smith Jr., the number one
They
consensus.
decided they didn't want Scoop. They decided that Brandon Miller would fit the team better, and then Nick Smith is on the board now. And then they're like, well, this is our guy who people compared him and Scoot as equals before the draft process really began, before the season started. So
What
maybe
is
they're
your
just taking a
thoughts on
chance on that.
Nick Smith. He was a guy that people compare to Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray and Jamal
I
Crawford.
love Nick Smith. It's just all about health with him.
Well, you spoke to him at the scouting combine.
Yeah. Great dude. He's been through a lot. I didn't know this until he said it because nobody knew about it. Everyone was just assumed that he got hurt twice last year. He got hurt 3 times last year. He had 3 different injuries. Nobody knew about that. He played through the injury at the end of the season. He has been through a lot. Seems like a great kid from when I talked to him, Like he was chatting shit to me, talking shit about my KU phone case. They beat us. Like, good kid. Oh, he's like crying like a lot right now. Like this means a lot to him. Like good kid. He's been through a lot. High upside. This dude was supposed to be on Scoot's level in terms of like scoring lead guard, combo guard type.
He could be the biggest steal of the draft.
He could end up being the biggest steal of the draft.
And I think he's got a guy who he's
He showed a lot.
combo
He
guard-
showed flashes. He showed flashes at times, but the problem was he was out of the lineup for too long, and Anthony Black took over as the main lead star freshman guard.
He's
And
also more of a combo guard with point guard like skills, so I think he can either play
Yeah.
shooting guard. He's also big enough to play the wing. I mean, he's 6'4", but like if you put some
Yeah, he's
muscle,
like 6'5", long arms. He missed. It's just like he has been through a lot. He has had injury questions. The knee was really bad. So if he can stay healthy, which is like a big if for everybody, not just him, he turns out to be a great player. The only reason that he fell this far was because of the injuries, because he could never get into a rhythm in terms of settling in an Arkansas lineup that had a lot of talent but didn't know how to spread the touches around.
No, I
Like,
completely agree.
yeah.
And I think this is a great spot for him, and hopefully Steve Clifford can get him up, get the most out of him. Now, Brees,
There's no pressure on him. There is no pressure on him in Charlotte, which I think will be better for him.
Brees just went to Utah.
That's a good pick. There is no pressure on him at Arkansas, and not Arkansas, in Charlotte, and not having pressure on him is very helpful because he's not going to be asked to do too much. He's going to sit behind Terry Rozier and LaMelo Ball probably, and we'll see where he develops from there. But I hope it works out for him. I would love to see Nick Smith reach his ceiling that we all know is still in there somewhere.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's still there too. I just think it's all about, unlocking it, really. It's been
Yeah.
You eating pizza? You a big pizza guy?
No, I had leftovers, so
Had to eat them.
yeah, I had to.
It's definitely wild to see how this has just all played out. I think Nick Smith is it's an emotional moment for him, but I think he could be the steal of the draft. If we had to say there was a steal of the draft, this would be the definition of the steal of the draft.
100%. He has a higher ceiling than Cam Whitmore does. And that's
Yeah.
a guy who has a really high ceiling, at least than everyone thought he did.
No, I completely agree. And what do you think of Nick Smith, being emotional, how much? I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder, and that's going
Oh, he's doing the interview right now. He's like tearing up, struggling to get through the interview. It's muted, so I can't even tell what he's saying, but it means a lot to him. Like the chip on the shoulder, obviously, like people always say that like it's good to have it. Like everybody has it to some extent, especially at that level. Like, obviously, like he's gonna be motivated to succeed, man. Like, and the thing about him, which is what I respected about him compared to other college guys, is
What is it?
a lot of college guys, a lot of top prospects, they've never been through any adversity, never been through anything. Because they're used to being dominant and they're used to just dominating everybody and not having to really work or do much. This guy had to work after 3 different injuries just to play in college ball. And he played when he was injured. He missed 20 games last year, and he was hurt when he was still playing, but he worked his ass off to get back and play.
Yeah, and I agree. I think it's just awesome for this kid. I know you had a big moment talking to him, and you enjoyed talking to the guy. And he's one of those people you want to see succeed.
He's one of those people that you just want to see succeed.
Yeah.
There's a few guys like that at the combine. Like
Damn.
Adam Bono.
Adam Bono, I want that guy. I wish he transferred to KU.
Come back to UCLA. They'll be big for him. Like,
No.
he's hot, so there's no reason for him to leave. But so I guess, yeah, Brees Sensabaugh here. He was surprisingly another guy. He slid a little bit too.
Utah and Indiana have kind of used some of the teams that we thought would trade their picks just kept them.
Because I think it's just because they couldn't find anybody. Brees Sensabaugh is PJ Tucker body.
I think this draft might have been overrated.
What?
The draft was overhyped, this class,
Oh, 100%.
by the media.
100% it was, but all classes are.
No, some of them are.
The 27. You know what the worst one is? The 2017 class. Markelle Fultz Alonso draft.
That one was shit.
Jason Tatum lived up to it, but the Zion Jaw draft was pretty big too, though. 2019.
The Celtics got the number 1 pick and they traded out of it.
To get the guy that they always wanted all along at 3.
And they couldn't make Tatum the first pick.
They could have, but they chose not to.
Julian
Tatum was
Strother.
Tatum was like dead set on going to Phoenix, and he was about to skip his workout with Boston until Coach K called him and said, "You should probably go."
Julian Strother is who the Nuggets traded up to draft.
So they swap picks with the Pacers. I'm assuming the Nuggets. So the Pacers have 30. The Pacers have. Where were the Nuggets picking in this draft?
29.
Yeah,
Yeah, in the 30s. They still have a second round pick. They just traded. They traded their.
Oh, they traded a different pick for this. I thought they.
You
traded
remember they did the OKC trade and then they traded again. And now they had this pick and a second round pick.
Oh yeah.
They started with 1 pick and they turned 1 pick into 2 picks and then 2 second round picks and then they turned 2 second round picks into 1 second round pick and 1 late first.
Okay, so yeah, this one's going to Denver. That's right.
Julian Strother. I thought maybe. Yeah, I thought they'd take Jalen Wilson, but I wouldn't be surprised if they take Jalen Wilson in the second.
They kept their second round pick, then yeah. Julian Strother makes sense here in terms of fit, and at this point, that's what they're drafting on. They're not drafting on best available because at best available, there really isn't a difference at this point. But this draft was 100% overhyped, just like the drafts that we named in recent memory, like 2017. I guess 2017 did have De'Aaron Fox too, so I guess I can't really say that it was like. I guess Lauri Markkanen, De'Aaron Fox, and Jason Tatum kind of lived up to the hype, but like.
Lowry took a little while.
Yeah, I guess Donovan Mitchell lived up to the hype too. Jesus fucking Christ, what am I saying? This draft was worth it. It was just the guys that were hype. The guys that were hype were the wrong guys, I guess, is what I'm saying. Because like Bam and Jared Allen and Donovan Mitchell all lived up to the hype.
Jared Allen was a what? 20th?
Yeah, 22nd.
Minnesota has traded to get the 33rd pick from the San Antonio Spurs.
But what is this? 2018. Who was in 2018? Was that draft overhyped? Not real. I mean, it was not really, because Luka, besides Luka wasn't even really as much overhyped as he arguably should have been, because Luka should have been the number 1 pick.
Yeah, but that was before the stigma with Europeans.
That was that killed his stigma.
That killed the stigma. Yeah, but the stigma.
Dying, but it still existed. That killed it. Luka walks.
Spurs send 2 future second-round picks to acquire the 33rd.
The Wolves did, you mean? Because you said the Wolves acquired it.
Caleb Camper, Imani Bates has not yet been drafted. He more than likely will be a second-round pick.
Okay, dude. The 2019 draft was probably the most overhyped.
The Zion?
Yeah, Zion, Ja, RJ. And then DeAndre Hunter was 4th. Darius Garland's lived up to the hype, though.
Zion, RJ. LaMelo was Evan Mobley, LaMelo, and Anthony Edwards. That was underhyped.
That was a very underhyped draft, considering how those guys have turned out so far. James Wiseman was second in that draft too. Jesus
Christ. He was considered like the safest prospect.
Mm-hmm. It turned out to be terrible. Patrick Williams has been better than him.
Edwards was kind of viewed risky because he was on Georgia.
Patrick Williams has been. 2021 was Evan Mobley, Jalen Green.
Patrick Williams has been the same player for 4 years.
2021 was Evan Mobley, Cade, Jalen Green, Scotty Barnes.
Yeah.
That draft class was about adequately hyped, I would say. 2022 was the Paolo Chet, Jabari. That one was that one wasn't really that overhyped either. This draft was really overhyped.
Jabari's body just gave up on him.
The 2017 draft was the one that everyone was saying that was going to be one of the best classes ever, and this draft was another one that people said was going to be one of the best classes ever. We'll see how it works. We don't know if it's overhyped or not, because we'll see how these guys turn out. But
definitely,
yeah, there was a lot of fanfare about this fucking draft class compared to the ones in the most that I've seen around the draft class since the Ja Zion shit.
They've really
Because the
cared.
Zion class was hype.
Dude, who are the Clippers trying to draft? Just draft James Nanji. We all know you want James Nanji.
Yeah, we all know that's who you want.
Unless you're really looking at Leonard Miller and being like, ooh.
Leonard Miller. Maxwell Lewis, man. I want him to get drafted soon.
Dude, Leonard Miller should have came out last year.
Yeah. I want Maxwell Lewis to get drafted.
So did I. A handful of guys who went in this are
Will,
going in the second.
Will, I want Maxwell Lewis to get drafted soon.
Let's see who will be the last pick of the draft. I wonder who it will be. Thank you for rocking with us for the last 3 hours. This will end as soon as the 30th pick is put in.
No first round recap? We should save it for tomorrow.
Yeah. Mentally, I'm drained.
We'll do it on the show. Spent all
Are you
this time
surprised?
here. I spent all
Are you
this time on the stream expecting at the very end to see my Celtics pick. What do? They fucking trade back. God damn
What
it.
do you expect? Brad Stevens is a genius.
This is why I don't watch the draft.
Also, did they say what they got for that? They got the 31st pick and future second round pick. So you guys turned to your first round pick into the 31st.
We didn't have a first round pick. Oh, you're talking about the one that we just got?
Yeah,
Memphis?
you turned your Memphis pick into the 31st pick into future second round
The
picks.
31st pick, which is basically a first round pick.
Yeah, but like, why would you do that? You could have just. This means you could have drafted. Listen to the players you could have drafted. You could have gotten yourself Nick Smith Jr.
They probably didn't want him.
I know, but you're telling me.
It's not what I want, it's what they want, bro.
Yeah, but our Celtics, our Celtics.
Okay, whatever. Sure. We'll go with it. Our Celtics, I guess. They didn't want Nick Smith. None of those guys that they would have drafted would have actually like Nick Smith wasn't going to play much.
Marcus Sasser,
Marcus Sasser wasn't going to play much on this team.
Ben Shepherd.
Again, none of these guys. They already have veterans that are playing in those spots.
Reese Sensabaugh.
No, not
Julian
Julian Strawther
Strawther.
either. No, none of the guys that they could have got at 25 are going to make more of an impact than anybody else. Like really later on this team right now, this team doesn't give a shit about the draft. They didn't even have a first round pick to begin with. Starting today, they had one pick. They had the 35th pick. They just wanted to get more picks because we don't have any.
I mean, I just think when we look at this right here, I thought this would have been a huge pick. All right, on a real note, who do you think you guys are going to take Andre Jackson? You think, but like, who
That's
do you
what I think. It just screams Andre Jackson.
Who do you think you guys would have taken if
We
the
didn't
draft
trade
had
back?
fallen? Yeah, like in the draft had fallen correctly. Who do you think they were originally targeting?
At 25, who were they targeting? Because they see. Here's the thing. I don't know who they were targeting because this got finalized yesterday. They probably weren't targeting anybody in the 25 range. Realistically, like we're gonna be honest about this, they didn't even plan on picking here until yesterday. But I guess like trying to think who went off the board before it. I guess Derek Lively went off the board earlier than teams expected. I guess Jaime Jaquez went off the board earlier than teams expected too. I think Pod would have helped this team more than like Marcus Sasser would have at 25.
I'm
He went
surprised they didn't want Colby Jones.
Yeah, I mean they could probably still get Colby Jones at 31. So
Yeah, no, at this point,
at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like Chris Murray's already off.
Do you think it was
Chris
all
Murray-
financial? Listen to this. Do you think it's all financial? They're like, we rather have beginning of the second round, so we don't have. To
Yeah,
pay
I think
these
that's part of it too because this team is trying to crunch the numbers and like save as much money as possible where they can because they're paying two guys a lot of money, and they're going to be paying two guys a lot of money for the foreseeable future.
guys.
And free if they want to extend Porzingis, which they apparently I saw yesterday they were in talks about like likely doing it. So I don't know. It's good. Kobe Brown at 30 to the Clippers. By the way.
Yeah, I was about to tell you. So to wrap up the NBA draft, Kobe Brown goes to the Clippers, aka Draymond Green Light.
Kobe Brown, great pick. This dude could have left Missouri but he stayed under a new coach and he reaped the benefits. Like he had a great fucking year. Draymond Green light, better shooter than Draymond Green was at this time in college.
Big heart.
Like I don't think he's going to be as good.
Great
as
conversation. Great conversation.
Great conversation about his feeling about him and the recruitment process. That was really cool seeing the inside.
I could have stayed talking to Kobe Brown all
It
day.
wasn't. I mean, shouldn't say recruitment process. I mean, the process of the coach trying to get him to stay at Missouri and not leave. And he was their best player, and Missouri had a great year in their. They were terrible 2 years ago before Dennis Gates took over, and they were amazing last year. Even though, again, we beat the shit out of them because we are way better than them because they suck and they're Mizzou. But they still had a great year last year. They made a tournament, which nobody could have expected. So, like, and he was the reason why. He was the big reason why.
3.5 hours later, what are your thoughts of your first NBA draft coverage?
Well, I haven't watched the draft since the 2017 draft, so it's been a while. Like, it was cool. My team didn't pick when I thought they would.
I'm glad.
Cam Whitmore slide all the way to fucking 20.
I'm glad you were here, though. Let's see if your team does pick before we go.
Yeah, well, I guess we should watch the Celtics pick.
What if you guys take Imani Bates?
That'd be so funny. That's the definition of a project pick.
They're like, he's Michael Porter Jr., guys.
He's Michael Porter Jr., guys. Trust us. Believe.
Believe.
I mean, to be fair, they've given us no reason not to.
Yeah. How many rings do you have?
The Celtics' shortcomings have not been because of mistakes in player development by the front office.
No, it's been mistakes by the players on the court.
Mistakes by the players shooting themselves in the foot in the wrong moments at the wrong times. That's what it is. Like the roster construction is not the problem here. Player development isn't even the problem because they play good most of the time. But it's the Celtics curse, really, is what it is.
They have what's it called? I believe Stadium has finished their live stream.
Yeah, because no one cares anymore.
Or I don't know if they're doing the full draft. I wonder.
No, probably not because no one gives a shit about them.
They probably are.
Lumberg, no one cares about the fucking second round. What is this?
What?
Oh my god, another trade! 3 seconds ago, Charlotte is taking James Nanji at 31 from Boston and sending 34 and 39 to the Celtics. Oh my god! So we're going to definitely take Andre Jackson at 34 now. Oh my god. Oh my god. What are we doing? Why are we stockpiling all these second round picks? What are we doing with them?
You're gonna draft the future Colby Jones and
Oh my
Andre
god.
Jackson.
Take it down again. That shows you that they did not want to pick at 25. They were not planning on taking anybody at all in this range before their draft picks, before the 35. Because they're like, dude, like they didn't have a pick. They had one pick all draft. And then I guess now we have 2 more. Jesus Christ.
That's where we're gonna end this, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I don't give a shit anymore, bro. I'm not gonna fucking Celtics just can't stop trading back.
All right. Good night, brother.
Peace.
Peace.